Shalom, Emma Shalom. All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. We'll pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you would not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come by Abba's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? Shalom, Brother Herman. All esteem and praise the Abba and Shamayim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Let's come over here to Proverbs 14 and 30.
Say a sound heart is the life of the flesh, but envy the rottenness of bones.
Come on, 2 Chronicles 24 and 12.
And the king in Jehoiada gave, as such did the work of the service of the house of Yahuwah, and hired masons and carpenters to repair the house of Yahuwah, and also such as wrought iron and brass to mend the house of Yahuwah. So the workmen wrought, and the work was perfected by them, and they set the house of Elohim in its state and strengthened it.
All right. Deuteronomy 28 and 1. Shalom.
And it shall come to pass, if you shall hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahuwah your Elohim, to observe to do all his commandments which I command you this day, that Yahuwah your Elohim will set you on high above all nations of the earth. And all these blessings shall come on you and overtake you, if you shall hearken unto the voice of Yahuwah your Elohim. Baruch you in the city, Baruch you in the field, Baruch the fruit of your body, and the fruit of your ground, the fruit of your cattle, the increase of your kind, and the flocks of your sheep. Baruch your basket and your store. Baruch you when you come in, and Baruch you when you go out. Yahuwah shall cause your enemies to rise up against you, to be smitten before your face. They shall come out against you one way and flee before you seven ways. Yahuwah shall command the blessing upon you in your storehouses and all that you set your hand unto. He shall baruch you in the land which Yahuwah your Elohim give you. Yahuwah shall establish you a Kadash people unto himself, as he has sworn unto you. What's good, Zo? Peace, brother. You shall keep the commandments of Yahuwah your Elohim and walk in his ways. All the people of the earth shall see that you are called by the name of Yahuwah. They shall be afraid of you. Yahuwah shall make you plenteous in goods, and the fruit of your body, and in the fruit of your cattle, and in the fruit of your ground, and the land which Yahuwah swore unto your fathers to give you. Yahuwah shall open unto you his good treasure, Shamahim, to give the rain unto your land in its season. To baruch all the work of your hand, you shall lend unto many nations, you shall not borrow. Yahuwah shall make you the head and not the tail. You shall be above only, you shall not be beneath. If that you hearken unto the commandments of Yahuwah your Elohim, which I command you this day to observe and to do. You shall not go aside from any of the words which I command you this day. The right hand to the left, to go after other gods to serve them. All right, cool. Come over here to Genesis 49 and 20.
You know, we were talking about the head and not the tail. We'll get to that. It's something in my mind also. We're going to deal with that. So come on with it.
Out of Asher his bread fat, he shall yield royal dainties. Naphtali a hind let loose, he give goodly words. Joseph a fruitful bow by a well, whose branches run over the wall. The archers have sorely grieved him and shot at and hated him. But his bow abode in strength, and the arms of his hands were made strong by the hands of the mighty of Jacob. From thence the shepherd, the stone of Yasharal. By the Elohim of your father, who shall help you? By the Almighty, who shall baruch you with blessings of Shamahim above, blessings of the deep that lie under, blessings of the breast and of the womb. The blessings of your father have prevailed above the blessings of my progenitors unto the utmost bound of the everlasting hills. They shall be on the head of Joseph and on the crown of the head of him that was separate from his brethren.
Come on to Psalm 71 and 15.
My mouth shall show forth your righteousness, your salvation all the day, for I know not the numbers. I will go in the strength of Yahuwah Elohim. I will make mention of your righteousness, of your only. O Elohim, you have taught me from my youth, and hitherto have I declared your wondrous works. Now also when I am old and gray-headed, O Elohim, forsake me not, until I have showed your strength unto generation, your power to every one that is to come. Your righteousness also, O Elohim, very high, who have done great things, O Elohim, who is like unto you, which have showed me great and sore trouble, shall quicken me again, shall bring me up again from the depths of the earth. You shall increase my greatness and comfort me on every side.
That's good. Come over here to Philippians 1 and 12. And my uncle put out that verse 21, which a lot of people do when somebody passed away. And I didn't want to go into it on the flip side of things. You know what I'm talking about? And draw out some understanding out of the play. So Philippians 1 and 12.
But you should be understood, you should understand, brethren, that the things unto me have
What's happening
fallen
what you said, man?
out rather unto the furtherance of the gospel, so that my bonds of Mashiach are manifest in all the palace and in all other. Many
Hold
of the
on, so that my what?
So that my bonds in Mashiach are manifest.
So he wanted you to see that him being a prisoner to a Mashiach could be seen in front of everybody. Because you have to remember when Paul's about to make these statements, he's locked up. Go ahead. You could take that in accounts of when Jeremiah was locked up in the high priest's house, that they could see the evidence of the bonds of Yahuwah. Matter of fact, get that for me, man. Jeremiah 27. Right, so that's what I want. No. Go ahead, come over here to 26 and 1 to start. Jeremiah 26 and 1 to start. Come on with it.
In the beginning of the reign of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Yehuda, came this word from Yahuwah, saying, Thus saith Yahuwah, stand in the court of Yahuwah's house.
And do what?
Speak unto all the cities of Yehuda, which come to worship at Yahuwah's house, all the words that I command you to speak
Shalom,
unto
brother
them.
Rob.
Diminish not a word. If so be they will hearken and turn every man from his evil way, that I may repent me of the evil, which I purpose to do unto them because of the evil of their doings.
Come on.
You shall say unto them, Thus saith Yahuwah, if you will not hearken to me, to walk in my law,
if you won't listen,
which I have set before you, to hearken to the words of my servants, the prophets, whom I sent unto you, both rising up early and sending.
But you have not what?
Hearken.
See, that go back to that point I was telling y'all the other day. That's in Chronicles. He said, man, if you ain't going to listen to the people that he sent, I say, I know people don't like to hear that. And I know why people don't like to hear that, man. Because my homeboy called me yesterday, man. I hadn't talked to Cuz in a minute. You know what I'm talking about? But I told him, man, the way how some of these niggas move. Like I told y'all a while back with niggas who don't even call the pastor by his name. You know what I'm saying? And some of the stuff that people do, like how some people insinuate that if you're not there with them, then you're not going to be safe. Because what we were talking about, I was telling about a situation, man, about 9 years ago, closing in on that. You know, a lot of people who in the word, the bruh say he felt like this at one time also. Niggas believe that you're not going to die. See, I'm not talking about the second death. Like, dudes get in the word and genuinely believe that you're not going to die. You know what I'm talking about? So, at this particular junction, 2 people had died. Now, at this particular time, now, see, this is the thing I mean. I'm not one to tell y'all that y'all can't listen to nobody else preach the word. You know, you do have men out here who tell their congregations that they're not allowed. Not that they don't recommend, but they're not allowed to listen to anyone else. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm going to be honest with you. That's not good. If a grown man come tell you that he the only person that you can receive the word from, I would recommend personally to walk away. That's just me personally. Because ain't no grown man telling me who I can and can't listen to. You understand? That's just not gonna happen. You know how we know that? John 10 and 1, please. And the same thing I've told you always. And I've always held this perspective. I'm not just telling you this. And you know why I hold this perspective? Because this is what the books say. You know what I'm talking about? This is not my personal thoughts, feelings, and opinions. Remember what the Lord told his apostles? They say, Lord, somebody preaching and casting out spirits in your name. He said, if they with us, they can't be against us. He literally told them to leave them alone. Come on, good sir.
Truly, truly, I say unto you, he that enter not by the door into the sheepfold, but climb up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber. But he that enter by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. To him the porter open, and the sheep hear his voice.
The sheep do what?
Hear his voice.
The sheep do what?
Hear his voice.
Oh, man. They hear who?
His voice.
Okay, what else happened?
And he call his own sheep by name. And
own sheep by name? Mm-hmm.
And when he put forth his own sheep, he go before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. And a stranger will they not follow, but will flee from him.
A stranger they won't what?
They will not follow.
But they'll do what?
But flee from him.
That's all I can tell you, man. I can't tell you who you can and can't listen to. That's not my job. The Lord said that the scribes and Pharisees sat at Moses' seat. Do y'all remember what he told his apostles? He said, beware of the leaven of the scribes and the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. They say, then they realize he didn't speak of bread, but of doctrine. Amen, Brother Herman. So that's all I can tell you is to beware. Nowhere in the text did he tell you, he tell you beware. Don't be no dummy. Hey, I don't care what this person told you. You know what I told you. You better listen to what I told you. That's it. Anything else is a man who's multiplying in pride, who is seeking to extract some type of benefit out of the people. What that benefit may be, usually it's monetarily. Some men just want to rule over others, to be 100% honest with you. And a lot of weird dudes feel like because you, like I told Cons this, and I told y'all this a while back. When you're dealing with the word, man, it's really like when you're dealing with an actual corporation. When I say corporation, I mean a company. And when you're dealing with that company, you want to put your employees in the best position to succeed, because you're not threatened if they bloom and blossom in the role that they're in. Now, see, when you create a company, usually you put together the structure and the system for said company. Well, look at the beauty of Yahuwah. You don't have to create the system or the structure. He's already done it. So all he does is he grabs men that he deems good in his eyesight, like I said, Ecclesiastes. You could get that for them also, Ecclesiastes 2 and 24. We good, and make it 22. We good, and John, you ain't got to go back over there. Then we're going to come over here to Luke 9. Ecclesiastes 2 and 22.
Would have man of all his labor and of the vexation of his heart, wherein he have labored under the sun. All his days sorrows, his travail grief. Yea, his heart take not rest in the night. This also vanity.
Hold on, run it back.
Say, for all his days sorrows, his travail.
All his days what?
Sorrows.
All his days what?
Sorrows.
See, this is gonna be the lead into what I ain't getting to finish on something we started last week. Come on with it.
And his travail grief. Yea, his heart take not
What's
rest
good,
in
Hashem,
the night.
man? Shalom,
This
bro.
is also vanity. Nothing better for a man.
Hold on, run it back. My bad.
You say, for all his days sorrows, his travail grief.
His travail is what?
His grief.
So his tribulation makes him sad. It's an affliction of some sort. Come on.
Yea, his heart take not rest in the night.
His heart don't take no rest when?
In the night.
What time?
In the night.
Okay.
This is also vanity. Nothing better for a man that he should eat and drink, that he should make his soul enjoy good in his labor.
Y'all don't see that what's going on, Yedadiah, man? Y'all don't see that that's the Matthew 26, I'm a seedling sorrowful even unto death, after he done ate and drank with his labor. Listen what he say. Continue.
He should make his soul enjoy good in his labor. This also I saw, that it was from the hand of Elohim. For who can eat, or who else can hasten more than I? Elohim give to a man that is good in his sight.
He give to a man good in his sight. What?
Wisdom.
What else he give?
And knowledge.
And what else?
And joy.
And what else?
But to the sinner he gives travail, to gather and to heap up, that he may give to him that is good before Elohim.
Listen, this man give to people that's good in his sight and set them up to do. John 13 and 20. The people, you don't get to determine, shalom, brother mom, you don't get to determine who are going to use. You don't put yourself in that spot. That's not how this works. You know what a lot of nigga problem is? That you're not content and comfortable if all you had to do was occupy till he came. You know what I'm saying? And see, that thought process of why people are not good and comfortable with that is you want to try to use this man's word to make up for deficiencies in your life where you haven't deemed yourself to be successful in whatever avenue that you're traveling down. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That ain't got nothing to do with the people. It certainly ain't got nothing to do with Yahuwah. Cause see this right here, man. This right here, man. Man, this ain't no light matter, man. The people lives you talking about, man. You know what I'm talking about? Now, I can know most of y'all done seen it before, but this might have been the first time you seen somebody who actually served you, where you watch somebody get dropped in the ground and it's over. You know what I'm talking about? As far as this flesh is concerned. You know what I'm talking about? So now you have to make sure, and again, I'm going to keep focusing on this point, the direct definition of it. Many times I done told y'all, man, when I used to be in the street, man, putting in work with the word, man, it would always come to my mind, you ain't got no time to go in that bag and pull out no word, boy. He said, boy, that thing got to be in your heart. You know, that's in your inward man. See, we're not talking about memorization. See, a lot of people feel like when you can rattle off text, that's memorization. See, let me tell you something about memorization. Memorization is intentional. You understand what I'm telling you? When you memorize something, you're intentionally seeking to be able to call it to mind. See, laying it up in your heart, it's intentional, but it's not an intentional for the purpose of rattling off. It's embedded in you. You know what I'm talking about? See, your inward man is the man. That's why he say sometimes you don't know what you ought to pray, and the Ruach search your spirit. You know what I'm saying? To hear grunterings that can't be heard, because sometimes you can't hear the groaning from that inward man, not audibly anyway. You know what I'm talking about? Get that from me, my G. You know what I'm talking about? Romans 8. Give me 17 on general principle. Techno machinery. I don't know nothing about that. Huh? Expound. I know you're going to do it anyway. So shoot, I'm going to go ahead and give you the green light.
It's saying, if children, then heirs, heirs of Elohim, joint heirs with Mashiach, if so be that we suffer with, that we may be also esteemed together.
Notice he's talking about the suffering. This is how this man ended up becoming the head and not the tail now. You got to understand something when you look at this obedience that this man mastered in Deuteronomy 28. Shalom, Sister Regina. In order to be your redemption. His obedience was not keep Sabbath days and not eat pork. That wasn't his redemption, my nigga. It's not what it was. That wasn't his obedience, because he was going to do that anyway. But his obedience was to fulfill all that was written of him. See, sometimes, man, like I say, man, we stop and we pause and we see these things in here, man, and you reading this stuff on the page, and I can understand how it happens, is that you neglect to remember that these were flesh and blood people that you read about, that had thoughts, feelings, and emotions that pulled them just like they pull you. You know what I'm saying? It's no difference. It's no difference. You sat back, you know that you read what the Lord told the apostles, that he would rise again on the third day. And that man was still distraught and lamented when he died. And some people will look at that and be like, man, why they ain't such and such? Because what he had to tell them, what manner of communications are these that ye are sad? See, it'd be a lot of things, man, that you looking at it on the Monday morning quarterback type of deal. It's easy for us to comment on things because these things have occurred, and you read about it and you heard about it, and now you trying to give your assessment and judgment as if you would have moved in a different fashion if that was you. No, you wouldn't, nigga. The same way he said, hey, we wouldn't have been with our fathers and partaking in killing the prophet. He said, you bear witness, you the children of the men who killed the prophet. You did the same thing. You know what I'm talking about? And you know why you looking at that? Because you're not looking at the hearts of men. Let me tell you something, man. Sometimes, man, you have to take yourself out of stuff and stop thinking about what you think you would do or what you would do, because everybody ain't you. Everybody don't think like you. Everybody don't come from what you come from. Everybody don't have your experiences. Shalom, each man. Or none of the sort. They don't have that. And it matters. Now, we're holding, Jeremiah 26, correct? And what else?
John 13 and 20.
Yeah, read John 13 and 20 with haste, because that ain't going to take long.
Say, truly, truly, I say unto you, he that received whomsoever I send, received me. He that received me, received him that sent me. When Yahushua had thus said, he was troubled in Ruach, and testified.
Go ahead and finish. Go ahead.
Truly, truly, I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me.
That good. What you talking about, Brother Herman? Come on. Back wrong. We still holding Philippians 1 also.
Verse 18.
Romans 8 and 18.
Say, for I reckon that the sufferings of this present time not worthy with the esteem which shall be revealed in us. For the earnest expectation of the creature, wait for the manifestation of the sons of Elohim. For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who hath subjected in hope. Because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption and to the esteemed liberty of the children
Redeemed
of Elohim.
from the bondage of what?
Of corruption.
To the what?
Of corruption.
To the redemption, to the children of Elohim. That's what it said, right? Remember what we were just reading on Wednesday in Galatians 4? What did he say? Born of a woman made under the law for the redemption to the sons of Elohim, where we were looking at what? Hosea 13, when he said, I will redeem you from the power of the grave. I will be your kinsman redeemer. You know what I'm saying? See, today, man, it was a lot of things that could have been mentioned, but I wasn't trying to stay out there and draw that out, because most of the stuff we done already discussed. You know what I'm saying? You know, like the people say, you're going to have a pastor out there. I don't need no doggone huckleberry bald face liar to come out here, man, talking about, cause see this one here different, man. I probably done dropped about 1,500 to 2,000 pieces of work, whether recorded or not. You know what I'm talking about? That my mama done heard. And this was the one that she didn't hear. Though her body was right there, she didn't hear it. You know what I'm talking about? And that John there hit different. Now, I know some of you be like, yeah, I done dropped about 1,500 to 2,000 pieces of work in my day. And I say, man, I done been in the street, in the house, you know what I'm talking about? On conference calls, on blog talk shows, man. You know what I'm talking about? You got to realize something. We've been doing this for 12 years. And 8 of them, or at least 7 years strong, 177 times a year. You know what I'm talking about? So that's a lot. Why did I mention that? Because what we going to read. Okay, you good, Brother Herman. Man, ain't no pressure, my nigga. I mentioned that for what we're going to read in Romans 10. There's no way that you can be able to believe in your heart if you ain't. See, a lot of people think, okay, I'll just read. But he didn't say that you have to just read. It has to be preached to you with understanding. See, this is the thing where people get twisted at. Once you get the understanding, then when you read, reading is easier for you. You know what I'm talking about? See, if you don't have no understanding, then you ain't gonna know what you read. Remember what the Ethiopian eunuch said to Philip when he said, do you understand what you read? He said, how can I accept a man guide me? That man was reading the text, shalom, Sister Gwen, but he didn't understand what he was reading. You know what I'm talking about? Because he said, who does this man speak of, himself or some other man? Now, I mentioned that for the point of what we talking about. I know we read John 10. We're going to get this Luke 9 also in a second. I can't tell you who to listen to. I can't. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to never look at none of y'all and be like, man, you don't need to do. I can't tell you that. But what I can tell you is this. You better make sure that God with them. And you better make sure God's word in their heart. Not just in their mouth, but in their heart. That's what you better do. Because your life on the line. You know what I'm talking about? And that thing got to be deep in the crevices of your inward man. That's where it has to be at. And you know who, and again, you know who your inward man is. You better not pay no attention. Your inward man is who you talk to when you're talking to yourself. You know what I'm talking about? Your inward man is the one that communicate with you. You know what I'm talking about? When you're sitting in the room quiet by yourself. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, man. Shalom, Brother Saul. Like straight up and down. Most people don't listen to their inward man, even before the word. See, everybody want to talk about this, that, then the third. Man, let me tell you something, man. I don't really care how niggas feel about it, man. You smoking reefer, nigga, put that reefer down. He said, I'd be needing to break down that answer. A lot of questions before I even ask. Shoot, praise the Lord. Listen, I'm telling you. You know why I say that? Why we in the holding pattern? Give me 1 John, chapter 2, verse 14. Because I know a lot of people ain't going to want to hear that. Man, your spirit don't need no reefer. Nigga, you a drug addict, cuz. And you speaking for somebody who smoked marijuana for 20 years, my nigga. So if you talking to somebody who, if I wanted to come up with a way, bro, to manipulate a text, bro, to justify what we would smoke reefer, bro, I would have been did that. But you see, that ain't been done. You know why? Because that's the pride of life. Stop being a nigga all your life, man, and sanctify yourself. You know what I'm talking about? I know at certain occasions, man, you want to sip you some alcohol, but truth be told, man, if it's not a joyous occasion, my nigga, meaning I'm talking about wedding. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about feast day. What you drinking for? I ain't talking about drinking some wine for your stomach infirmity. What you drinking for? What's the point? And when I'm telling you this here, I'm not pointing no finger at you. I'm asking you a question. That's not a statement. What you drinking for? How do you rationalize this in your brain? Why do you want to be inebriated? Why do you want to take your inward man and flood him with something that could cause him to operate differently? You know what I'm talking about? This is what I'm at. This is what I'm mentioning this for you to consider. You can do what you want to do. But if that word ain't in that inward man, well, you're going to have a problem. Go ahead, bro. What I did, 1 John 2:14, run it for me.
I have written unto you, fathers, because you have known him from the beginning. I have written unto you, young men, because you are strong. And the word of Elohim abide in you. You have overcome the wicked one.
You've over what?
Overcome the wicked one.
Now, how you overcome the wicked one? You overcome the wicked one through your faith. That's what 1 John 5 say. But through your faith, you're going to live just. So you a just drunk? You a just drug addict? You a just fornicator and whoremonger? You a just liar? You think just because you pointing out stuff, you think because you pointing out Donald Trump went to prison that make you godly? You think pointing out what Puffy got going on make you godly? You think pointing out what Vince McMahon or any of these other people got going, you going to hell with them. Because if your soul ain't sealed, what make you different from them? You a sinner just like them. See, let me tell you something, man. Of course, you know, I don't have them videos come up in my YouTube feed no more. Well, they never really came up in my YouTube feed when I actually got a smartphone, because we were looking at this stuff on laptops and what you call them, desktops and whatnot. But I know most people, because y'all, most of you, I ain't gonna say that to y'all. A lot of our people, when they come in the word, they come in the word on some Illuminati, the Hollywood is the devil type stuff. You know what I mean? That's what they come in, and that's why you get so much focus on, well, I don't give a damn about them people. That's not the gospel, man. Why are we talking about them people all the time? Now, it's not as bad as it used to be. Because, boy, you talking about 2015, 16, and y'all done heard me say this here before. Boy, every celebrity that said something about being the Israelite, you know what I'm talking about, niggas going crazy, Chingy in the truth. I don't give a damn about that dude. I'm not thinking about this nigga. And it's not because I don't think I don't care. I don't know this dude. Man, your whole word don't need no famous nigga to validate it. Man, I remember hearing dudes say, man, if Jeezy got in the word, boy, it'll spread. You niggas busters. What's wrong with y'all? You think your whole word need Jay-Z to push it? Matter of fact, why do we care if Beyonce's a witch? Why do I care? Some of you niggas witches. But you worry about Beyonce? Get the hell out of here, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. And this ain't wrong. This young lady, she had made a video. She was talking about how they be molesting and touching on them kids in Hollywood. And it's relevant and it's right. But let's just keep it a beam. Boy, a lot of the Hebrew niggas do the same goddamn thing, and you niggas don't say nothing. You know what I'm talking about? And you worry about them people over there. Now, not to say with that with her, because, of course, her situation different. She just make particular content to bring awareness to particular type of thing. I'm mentioning this on our people as a whole. You will sit around and talk about what these celebrities doing, and you know people who say they in the word who do the same thing, and you say nothing. And you say nothing. And you think you justified? I don't give a damn what a famous rich nigga doing who I don't know. What about that dirty dick nigga sitting over there touching on them kids that you know he doing it? Nobody says nothing. You know, and I'm talking about, you know what Bruce like to do? Cover it up. Because you know what you more worried about? How it's going to look in the eyesight of the public. Man, I don't give a damn what nobody... Why do y'all care so much about what these people think, man? When you going to start caring about what Yahuwah think? You worry about a public image. Nigga, you ain't got no public image and you a sinner. Is you crazy? Man, we crazy out here. Say in 2012, 2013, someone from my job back then dropped some info about y'all. Yeah, I mean, people been talking about it for a long time. You know what I'm talking about? Who was like, boy, T.I. said some junk, them niggas went crazy. Look at what they did with Kanye. That wasn't even about a year ago. And look how he moving. Look what all them niggas did when Kendrick Lamar put his cousin on the doggone album who was in IUIC. You niggas lost your mind. This nigga around here battling Drake. Because if he really about some word, he wouldn't give a damn about battling Drake. He called him a pedophile. You better he want a minor. I don't give a damn about none of that. What that nigga doing? He in the same business. You ain't even consider that. You think they give Pulitzer Prizes to just anybody? You think they just give that to anybody? Oh, he's just that talented. They want to give him one. Is you know how funny niggas is, man? You niggas give passes to the celebrities in the business who you like. Look, he's in the same business. Man, y'all niggas crazy. You know what I'm talking about? That's not to say that everybody in that business doing it, but you can't put it past this person because you like his records. Oh, Drake a pedophile. Well, how you know this man ain't? Just because somebody ain't say it in the song? What if Drake ain't no pedophile? That's messed up. Do you understand how devastating of an accusation that is to accuse a man of some sexual impropriety or such a thing? Because I don't know if that nigga a pedophile or not, and I don't care. And I don't care. You know all we concerned with? That nigga's a culture vulture. Nigga, his daddy's a musician who's a nigga. And you know what you can, but he was raised Jewish. Don't you know anybody who have a baby with a Jewish woman, she pretty much gonna demand that? Some of y'all talking about he was raised Jewish. Some of y'all could have been successful, but you was raised nigga because you was raised with your mom. Instead of going with your daddy and getting something else. Of course he was gonna be raised Jewish. His daddy was on the road hitting hoes. He ain't had time to be no daddy. That's why he act like this. You better remember that movie. Why you always on the road? Be my father. We want to be your father. Come on, bro. I didn't mention that. I don't know these people. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about these people. Nowhere, anywhere did Yahuwah commission you to talk about things that don't matter. In his name, anyway. Let me put it that way. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, man, when you go back 2012, 2013, really 2009, because, you know, the real golden age of YouTube, I was in prison. But 2009 to about 2013, 14, you know what I'm talking about? That's all most brews want to talk about. That's all they made videos about. That's all they made content about, was exposing the music business, exposing Hollywood. And guess what? Now you fast forward 10 years and these niggas souls destitute. Because the people who call themselves watchmen warning the people ain't give them nothing. I see now the thing they talking about is all these people denouncing being in a sorority and a fraternity. Who cares? Who cares? I don't care. Okay, cool. They denounced that, man. That mean they learned some word. They said this ain't right. Why is this a topic of conversation? Why do you care about a nigga going to college and getting spanked? If that's what he owned, that's what he owned. Hit him. Let me tell you something, man. And I told y'all this today, and I told you this before. I ain't get my mama to no word, man, by doing the stuff that you niggas be doing. When I say you niggas, I'm not talking about any of y'all specifically. I'm talking about most brews in general. I just lived the word, bro, and went about my life. That's it. And let that speak for me. Do you remember what your forefather Jacob said? My what gonna speak for me? That's what you need to learn. Most of y'all ain't never win your family members because you talk too much. You don't know how to shut up. You don't know how to conduct yourself. You don't know how to comport yourself to the point where these people look at, I need to see about their God because their God seen that got something going on. Something that I want to be a part of. It ain't that hard, man. But that go back to what I was telling y'all the other night. When you young and ain't nobody taught you nothing, this is what you do because you unskilled, you unlearned, you inexperienced, and you have no wisdom. So you don't know how to move to win a soul. Didn't the book say he that wins souls is what? See, you ain't winning no soul. That means you a fool then. That means you not wise. Winning a soul is not them coming to find out their nationality. You ain't won no soul. No, sir. That ain't what happened. Said point of irony, a felon will become president. Possibly. You know, them white people problem. You know what I'm talking about? That's what I told them boys yesterday. That's why I said that. Yeah, I said, oh man, I see Trump got convicted on 34 counts. But I'm gonna tell you something, man. I ain't a smart man. I ain't a dumb man. But I do know this here. Nigga ain't catching 34 felons and he ain't going to do no time. 2, 3, I could see little probation. 34, we gonna do some time on 34 felons.
They said he's still in the presidency. That was a New York Times.
I mean, he can if he's on the ballot.
Yeah. They said he still be the president. That's what they said.
Yeah, he's still on the ballot. But you can win a lot of things. But what I do know is somebody gonna have to pardon this nigga because 34 felonies. Well, you gonna do some time, boy. I wouldn't care if it were 2 years, man. Nigga not walking away from 34 felonies without no time. Well, if that white man get probation, boy, these white folks finna burn all type of stuff down around there. And y'all niggas better not get involved. Because you did that junk last time, jumping up and down because this man won an election. Man, them white people problems, man, learn how to mind your business. Joe Biden ain't your people, Donald Trump ain't your people, and this ain't your country, and them ain't your laws. You begged and cried for a senile octogenarian, and look at what you got going on. Give a damn about them people. Come on, man. You niggas be worried about them people more than you worry about your own God. Say a jit gonna pardon himself. Well, shoot, he got to get in office to pardon himself. Because they say his citizen is in July. You see what they say? Remember you said, no, he ain't asked you to protest. Man, you'll never see the Lord and the apostles out there talking about, hell no, we won't go. No justice, no peace. You ain't finna see them doing no goofy junk like that. That's you stupid niggas. You know what I'm talking about? And you know why? Because you trust in Mr. Charlie more than your God. You'll go protest to man before you go protest to your God. You're not finna stand out here and beg this man to treat me nice. That's got to be the most craziest thing in the world. You gonna beg a nigga to treat you right? That's how, and that's what I know. That's why a lot of y'all been in bad relationships because you was with people begging them to do right by you. You remember what that man told you in Fences, man? He said you don't need to be concerned if people like you or not, but if they do right by you, you want these people to like you. You don't care if they do right by you. There's something wrong with you. Man, I'm just here. I'm just a stranger in the sojourn. I'm just passing my time. I don't care about what these people got going on. I don't. You know why? Ain't my business. Ain't my business. Same people wanted the kingdom, indeed, but now they desire a better. Yeah, man. It's not my business. I need to be where the Lord at. I don't care nothing about Mr. Charlie. I don't care about nothing that's ungodly. Because if it was created ungodly, it'll never be godly. So why would I be concerned with it? The structure that America is set up on will never be godly. And I don't care who you put in position. You could put our own people in position and it's going to become ungodly because it was never created to be godly in the first place. You can't make straight what God made crooked. You can't do that. You have to, that's what I mean by inexperience and you lack wisdom because you think you can make a kingdom godly that was sinful from its inception. You can't. You can't. That's impossible. It has to be destroyed. And it's not your job to destroy it. Because you know why? Because their enemy is bigger than you. The person who they thumb their nose at and warn against is bigger than you. So you got to learn when to sit down and know your place as a woman and sit down and close your mouth. That's what a lot of women problem is. And that's what a lot of Israelite problem is. You don't know your place as a woman to sit down and be quiet. That man don't need your help. Indeed, Brother Herman. Come on, bro. Where you at with it?
1 John 2:15.
Run it from me.
Say, love not the world.
Love not the what?
Love not the world.
Tell them what world is in the Greek there, man, just because I feel like it. Saints don't need a lives matter. We serve until the resurrection. That's right. You walk around here talking about Black Lives Matter. You niggas around here tearing up stuff, acting a fool for a sinner. You got to be crazy. But he black, though. And if they strung up a saint, you niggas will probably be out there to help them do it. I bet it won't be no Black Lives Matter then. You hypocritical bastard. Come on, man.
That's a cosmos.
Oh.
It's an apt and harmonious arrangement or constitution, order, government, the world, the universe, the circle of the earth, the inhabitants of the earth, men, the human families, the ungodly multitude, the
ungodly multitude, and then it said government also. So he told you don't love the governments of this world, don't love the ungodly multitudes. Any more definitions?
Yeah, the whole mass of men alienated from Elohim.
All the people who are separated from God.
Say, and therefore hostile to the cause of Mashiach.
And then they hostile to the stake and faith of Mashiach. He say, don't love them. You know what that take you back to? What's in 2 Chronicles 19? How can you love them that hate you? You see how this stuff is tied back to this stuff, man? Man, he say, don't love none of that. What else he say?
Say, neither things that are in the world.
Don't love nothing in the alienated world. Don't love their governments. Don't love none of that. Why, sir?
If any love the world, the love of the Abba is not.
There's nowhere in the world the love of the Almighty Father of heaven and earth is in you, and you love the alienated sinners of the world and the governments thereof. It's not possible. Now, I know some people be like, man, well, you were just talking about your people who ain't in the word. You know what I'm talking about, nigga. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Just like we were talking about this the other morning, man, when dudes be like, do people be sinning? The first thing they want to talk about is, you be in the house when your wife on her period? I be like, well, y'all niggas wicked as the day is long. This what you had to come up with? Man, I'm be honest with you. You niggas hate God. You hate Yahuwah with all your soul. You know what I'm saying? You ain't no different than them Christians that you talk about all day long because you live just like them. You live just like them. You can't talk about somebody when your life is the same as theirs. How you gonna talk about them people and you say the same thing in a different way and you feel like you justified because you know God's real name and that you're supposed to keep the commandments that you're not keeping? So you think you better than them. I seen a brother say today, man, he said, man, how y'all around here talking about you repent daily? He said, you sin every day? Somebody, every person on there, are you saying you perfect? You understand how wicked people is, man? That's the first thing you come to. Oh, you saying you perfect? Why are you sinning every day? Why when somebody hold a mirror up to your face and ask you, bro, why you sinning every day? Then I seen a lady say, you can't keep all them 613 laws. You know what cuz told her? He said it's 30,000 statutes in the United States of America and you keep them every day with no problem. I said, boy, he ain't told this person no lie. The first thing you want to talk about is why you can't do it. It's because you don't want to. But you want this man to bless you, though. But you want to boast in your flesh, though. Let me tell you something, man. Let's just say I was a weaker individual. You know what I'm talking about? Man, the stuff these niggas talking about, bro. Man, you know most of them niggas probably, man, nigga, we standing out there, nigga. I'm looking at my mama dead, my nigga. And you know what most of them niggas would have probably hit a nigga with, man? But you know, we the Israelites, we gonna take the kingdom. Man, I ought to bust you upside your head with a crock pot. I'm mentioning this here because if I was a weaker type of individual, I couldn't even be able to get nothing from you because you ain't got nothing to give me. You ain't got no word of faith to give me, my nigga. All you got is doctrine. Bro, I don't want to hear that. Nothing. You can't strengthen my soul. Nigga, what your garden gonna do for me? And I'm not ridiculing that. I'm trying to cause you to think that the stuff that you pushing and that you think God care about, man, when you strip all that stuff away, man, and the tribulations of life come in, because didn't we just read that? He say them trials and all that. Man, that stuff you talking about, man, that ain't hitting that inward man, my nigga. You could grow all the food you want, boy, gonna go in your belly, into your intestines, and out your anus, into the toilet, back to the sewer system to come right back through your faucet. That's what's gonna happen. They ain't gonna do nothing for your soul. And you got to consider that. That don't mean that those type of things are irrelevant, but you make them more important than what they are. Your God never told you about that because he don't care. How many times you read in this book, this man talk about your heart? Circumcise your foreskin of your heart. Put off that stuff off your inward man. Get it out of there. Lay my word up in your inward man. Purge your inward man. Cleanse your inward man. Strengthen your inward man. You're not paying attention to none of that. Can you speak a word in due season to a soul that is weary? You got that ability? Because I don't give a damn about your fruits and vegetables, my nigga. I don't care about none of that type of stuff. And the reason why that junk don't resonate, because most of y'all ain't went through nothing yet for you to find out that stuff don't matter. And you know why I'm telling you this? Because you can see Solomon say it all through Ecclesiastes, that all that stuff is vanity. You know what I'm talking about? It doesn't mean that it's irrelevant, because in the same breath, he tells you to enjoy it, don't it? He's trying to give you perspective, man. Don't be such an idiot that you want to jump out the window and not understand that we're talking about perspective. It doesn't mean that it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant in the greater scheme of things. It's not irrelevant to life. It's not an excuse to be a bum and not do nothing. Of course, if you have the ability to purchase some land and you want to grow some food on it, nigga, ain't nothing wrong with that. But if you think that that's more important to the developing and the strengthening of your inward man, to the salvation of your soul, you going to hell. And you going to hell with fresh tomatoes and greens. They going to cook real good for you too. Let me see, little bro say. He said when George Floyd protest was going on, the people were mad because camps like IUIC didn't show any comfort. They were just giving commandments to a herd people. See, they took that as, since I didn't see what they had to say, I can't really speak on that. You know what I'm talking about? But what I can say is this. There's no easy way to do that, because I remember when Mike Brown died, man, and I told some brother that. I say, bro, I don't know Mike Brown, obviously. I say, bro, but you don't know what that man was doing in his life for you to know, not to know if that was judgment from God or not. Because this man wasn't a saint. I'm not talking about a saint like how people say saint. This wasn't a faithful one. This wasn't a holy one. This wasn't a pious one. This was not a kased. And you see, people don't want to hear that because you're not justifying the actions of the police officer. Sometimes, boy, y'all boys who in the word, you jump off the top rope for people that you ain't supposed to be jumping off the top rope for. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not a saint. It's different if a saint get killed by the police, and even then, you supposed to be coming together to call on Yahuwah for him to render vengeance, not to take it in your own hands. That's not your job. That's not your job. But the reason why I'm mentioning these things, because we don't trust in Yahuwah to where that what's come to our mind. You don't believe in God like that. You believe in your bloodline, but you don't believe in Yahuwah. That's why you're ineffective in the faith. You know what I'm talking about? To be 100% honest. Read verse 15 of 1 John 2 again.
I say, love not the world, neither the things in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Abba is not in him. Mm-hmm. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life.
The lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of what?
Of life.
Tell them what the pride of life is, man. Again, I don't say these things to be harsh, and I don't say these things to disparage anybody. I just want you to consider. You can do what you want. You know what I'm talking about? It's your soul.
Pride is a lot zonia, that's empty, braggart talking, insolent, An empty assurance which trusts in its own power and resources.
Listen what he said. An empty assurance that trusts in his own what?
Power and resources.
An empty assurance that trusts in his own what?
Power and resources.
You trust in your own power and resources, so you think that's what's going to save you when you're going to go to hell. Because the love of God ain't in you. That's what it means when you talking about the pride of life, man.
So you trust in the stability of earthly things.
You trust in the stability of earthly things. And do you remember what Yahushua said to Peter when he rebuked him? Get behind me, Hashatan. For you desire the things that be a man and not the things that be a Elohim. Oh, that's tough right there. See, somebody's heart gonna get pricked. Remember what Paul wrote in Philippians? Their God is their belly. They mind what? Earthly things. Somebody's heart gonna get pricked. He said, a stranger got mad at me because I didn't join the confusion they had going on with George Floyd protests in Charlotte. I asked him what were they going to do after they were protesting. He didn't have an answer. Shoot, because if I see Shalom, brother Ernest, I see you protesting, I'm going home. I'm not standing out here. For what? For what? Man, one thing I don't do, boy. If you get on your knees, you do other things, boy. If you understand what I'm talking about. I'm a grown man, boy. I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees, boy. I'm not begging no man for nothing. Absolutely nothing. Any man who knows that you'll beg for him to treat you right will never treat you right because they know that they don't have to. Because you begging them. Because you don't have the self-respect and love to walk away. Shalom, my brother Ernest, man. I appreciate that. You were brutal, bro. I appreciate that. Listen. In 2024, most brews trust in their own resources. You don't trust in God. That's why he told you beware of covetousness, because a man's life don't consist of the abundance of things that he possesses. Your life don't come from the fruit of the ground. Your life don't come from any of those things. You don't even realize in your desire to do those things, you will become like the very people you claim are oppressing you. You will become just like them. And the sad part is you won't even see it coming until one day you look in the mirror. What's the name of that movie with the dude with turning white back in the day, man? The dude that used to be on Living Single. I can't remember the name of that movie, man. He was playing a news reporter. Let me find his name.
He was turning white.
Yeah, and the every time he would look at himself in the mirror, he would look like a white man. He would actually look like the white news. I think that's where Dave Chappelle got the basis for that white news reporter that he had. Hold on, Terrence Carson is his name on the Chappelle show. Living Large, that's what it was. Was it Living Large? Maybe so. Yep. Living Large came out in 1991. He was a delivery man who aspired to be a news reporter. And he got his big break when he drove up on a hostage situation. And then a reoccurring gag throughout the film involves Jackson seeing himself on TV with notably different facial features, thinner lips, straighter hair, and a lighter complexion. As Kate tries to transform Dexter's urban image, mainly his dreadlocks, clothing, and vocabulary, he begins to question whether he's starting to sell out as he becomes more and more successful. He wonders whether becoming successful also means becoming white. I mean, it's an old movie, obviously, because it came out in 91. And a lot of y'all weren't even born in 1991. And if you were, you weren't old enough to be concerned with a film of that nature.
I don't think it probably came out.
I've seen it because I go to Blockbuster. But, yeah, you know what I'm saying? You end up when you desire to do the not Clayton Bigsby, but the news reporter on the Chappelle show. You know what I'm saying? When he had the little blonde wig on, I think that's where Dave got that inspiration. But a lot of times, man, you'll end up becoming the very thing that you complained about when you seek and desire to have the very things that they have. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to seek your God, not seek their wealth. What do you mean? How do you seeking their wealth? If you in another man's land and you have to get his currency, you have to seek his wealth in order to purchase the things that you want to purchase. There's no way around that. It's better to seek God and the treasures thereof. They last longer. They durable. He told you that. Come on, man. We good there, man. Finish this Romans 8, man. Let me get back on track.
Yeah, verse 22.
Romans 8 and 22.
Say, for we know that the whole creation groan and travail and pain together until now.
Mm-hmm.
And not only, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Ruach, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, the redemption of our body.
Mm-hmm.
For we are saved by hope, but hope that is seen is not hope. For what a man see, why do we yet hope for? But if we hope for that we see not, do we with patience wait for it?
We wait for it. Peace, Brother Nate.
Likewise, the Ruach also help our infirmities, for we know not what we should pray for as we ought. But
he said our Ruach help our what?
Our infirmities.
All our weaknesses, your trials, your afflictions. What else, sir?
But the Ruach itself make intercession for us with groanings which cannot be uttered.
See, that man say the Ruach can make man, your inward man be groaning for stuff, man. You don't know it. Get that Romans 10 and 5 real quick, man. And then we get back to what? Jeremiah? Or we need to read Luke 9. We really passed the point for Luke 9, but we'll read it anyway. Come on.
Say, for Moses described the righteousness which is of the law, that the man which do those things shall live by them. But the righteousness which is of faith speak on this wise.
How I speak.
Say not in your heart, who shall ascend into Shamahim, that is to bring Hamashiach down, or who shall descend into the deep, that is to bring up Hamashiach again from the dead. But what saith it? The word is near you, in your mouth, in your heart.
It's in your. He said the word in your inward man. I mean, remember, right? Your lab is your inward man. Your nefas is your soul, or the seat of your emotions. So, in your soul is the seat of the common passions and desires that everybody has. What do you say? Come on.
And in your heart, that is the word of faith which we preach.
Go ahead.
That if you shall confess with your mouth the Lord Yahushua and shall believe in your heart that Elohim have raised him from the dead, you shall be saved.
Now, how do you believe in your inward man that he raised him from the dead? You'd have to believe it as the scripture has said. In him. In that inward man. Not just repeating it and rehearsing it. See, you can't really confess anything that you believe. He's going to tell you that. See, a lot of people confess things that they don't believe. I would say probably a good 50 to 60%, maybe even 70, and that's being low, of people who preach the word don't really believe it. You know what I'm saying? And when I say that, I'm not even saying that most of them are consciously aware that they don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? That's why you see so many people debating all the time, because they're really trying to convince themselves of that which they don't believe. So they feel like if I argue and fuss and fight about it enough times, I convince myself that it's true. Go ahead, bro.
Say, for with the heart man believe unto righteousness. And
with the heart man believe unto what?
Unto righteousness.
And that's why it said Abraham believed Yahuwah and he counted it to him for righteousness, because he believed in his inward man what the man said. I told you a dude say, there you go with that stuff. When I say, bro, Abraham believed on the word, bro. What are you talking about? Do you not understand, son, man, that the two biggest components that are spoke about in this book repeatedly, faith and love, are ridiculed by the mass majority of people who deal with the word? The mass majority. They ridicule it. They think one is stupid and the other is weak. And these are the same people who say they believe the word and teach it to people. That's not off topic by no means, Brother Omar. Brother Omar asked the question, how do you increase your faith? And that's a good question. He say, so when people tell a non-believer to confess with your mouth and believe with your heart the ABC to salvation, is that accurate to preach? No, it's not. Because to come with a non-believer, you actually have to, John 7:37, you actually have to preach the word to them. If you just tell them to confess that you believe in Lord Jesus, but you ain't hit them off with no testimony, what do they believe in? Give them 10 and 14 in Romans. This will help you out here too. Will answer Brother Omar's question. How do you increase your faith? Let's see how Paul put it.
Say, how then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed?
But back me up to 11 on the highs, man.
That's what it said.
Yeah, just go ahead. He told her home. What worked for me was praying for an increase in faith and taking action, trying to combat fear and doubt with the word when it would rise up, and encourage myself in you. Yeah, that's nothing wrong with that. Those are all good things to be considered a friend of you. Amen. Listen, but before you can even do the things that Mika just mentioned, somebody got to preach the word to you. Remember, he said that signs are for who? Unbelievers. So a lot of the times, like, okay, Brother Herman, what you seen, like what happened when they came out of Egypt, that he would have Aaron and Moses show signs to the people, all those plagues, those wonders, because they ain't had no word. And he tell you that prophecy is for believers. So if a person has heard the word and you say you believed it for the increase in the faith, it's the manifestation of the testimony. Then once you have the word, you can do the things that Mika mentioned. If you don't have no word, you can't even do what Mika mentioned because you don't even have a baseline foundation to even be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is that we live in a current time now where people they minimize the hearing of the word. They make it feel like that's not important. Not realizing that the people can't even function in a proper fashion because they have nothing to hang their hat on. That's what I meant. You need somebody to teach you. Once the word is in you, then that's different. Like I said earlier, once the word in you, then you can read and you can get understanding. If you don't have no understanding, you just telling people, study to show yourself approved, read the Bible. What is that going to do for this person? They don't understand what they're reading. So then what ends up happening is they'll draw their own conclusions of how they want to draw it and make it worse for themselves. Come on, Romans 10 and 11, good sir.
For the scripture saith, whoso believe on him shall not be ashamed.
See, he's quoting Isaiah 28. I said in Zion, a sure stone, a sure foundation. He that believe on him shall not make haste. Because he said, I will disannul your covenant with death, and with hell you are at agreement. So the number one way when you look at, okay, how can this faith be increased? Like I mentioned today, and like I told you beforehand, before we even got to today, because it was already coming in my mind, when you die, you get put back into the first Adam because you return back to the dust of the ground from which he came. And it doesn't matter if you're male or female, because male and female created he, them, and called their name Adam. All mankind go back to the dust. They go back to Adam. You know what I'm talking about? But see, now you're seeking to be quickened by the second Adam. That's why you say the first Adam was made a living soul, or had the seat of emotions with the breath of life. The second Adam was made a quickening ruach. This one here has the life that is eternal. From the same breath, but a different function. Now, what's the different function? Is that quickening ruach has the activation of faith. Well, what does that activation of faith come from? From the preaching of Yahushua HaMashiach. So why is that important? It's going to get us back to Philippians, to get me back to Jeremiah 49, which I know you probably know why he mentioned Jeremiah 49, because that's dealing with the cup passing when we mentioned that, and we didn't get to where that came from, because I said that for 2 weeks running, and we didn't get to it. You know what I'm saying? We've gotten to it in the past. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm talking about again. You understand? As a matter of fact, now that I think about it, we dropped that Jeremiah 49 when we was in Atlanta and a nigga had his nuts crossed. You know what I'm saying? A nigga had a nuts crossed. I'm going to tell you something about a lot of these dudes, man. A lot of these dudes think they the nicest MC. And they don't think nobody nicer than them. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm going to tell you something, man. And I mean this with every ounce of my soul. By the grace of Yahushua, I know I'm nice with mine. I don't know if I'm nicer than the next person. I really don't care. I just know that I'm nice with what I can do. I don't concern myself with being nicer than the next man, because this is not a competition. Because we all work for the same person. So he could be nice in what he do, and that's what he do, because that's what he sent him to do. He's supposed to be nice. You know why I can say I know I'm nice with mine? Why in the world would you think Yahuwah would give you a word and then you wouldn't be nice with it? If he gave it to you, you're supposed to be nice. The difference is you ain't got to walk around acting like, well, I'm nicer than you, so y'all need to come over here and listen to me. That's dirty maggot, man. That's a nigga ain't got no hope. You know what I'm saying? That's a nigga who can't get no women, so you feel like you got to move around and try to take other people, look at me and look what I can do. No, I ain't got to do all that, bro. I know I'm nice, nigga. I ain't got to tell you that. I already knew. I knew that before I got here. And you know why I knew that before I got here? Because I know who I work for. You know what I'm saying? I already know my work good before I got here because I know who I copped it from. You know what I'm saying? Indeed, Monte. I know who I copped it from, so I don't need to talk down on him and what he got going on. Because guess what? If you nice, I'm going to say, bro, nice with his. It's not that hard. Niggas only don't do that because niggas hoes. You a buster. You a sucker. You know what I'm saying? You really want it to be about you and not Yahuwah. Because at the end of the day, if you nice with it, guess what ends up happening? All the esteem and praise go to Yahuwah. There would be no room for you to boast, which is why he said that so that no man could boast. But see, everybody wants to boast because you want it to be about you. And you know what? And it's like you forget where you come from. You forgot what you was out here doing and how you was living. And now you've been lifted up in your arrogancy with information. Now, why he say knowledge puff up, he say, but love edify. You know, love means to build up. I mean, edify means to build up in that Greek. And when you turn around and you look at it and you talking about nurturing is aiding into the growth and development. So if you can't do nothing but you can't have love in you without having the ability to nurture, and you can't nurture without having love in you. It's impossible. That's why I say most people ain't never been loved before, because they don't know it when they see it, because you want to feel it. Really, you want a love that appeases to your lust. That's what you want. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, let me just leave that alone, because people won't get upset. You know what I'm saying? Y'all nigga want somebody who gonna rub all on your feet and do all this other type of stuff. That nigga don't love you. Niggas rub on prostitutes' feet. I ain't saying that to be funny. Man, I know dudes who done bought prostitutes, crack prostitutes at that, lay in the bed with them, kiss them in the mouth. Shoot, man, I remember one time, man, we pulled up on my one of my dudes, man, my homeboy. We all knew the dude who my homeboy used to serve, man. I'm talking about he laid in the bed with a prostitute. I'm talking about in the bed, laid up like this here in the hotel, like this nigga wilding. And you think because he laid up in the bed with you, hugging you, he love you. That boy do that with prostitute who smoke crack. You know what I'm saying? If a person ain't really concerned, if their love can't be able to build you up, what type of love they really got? Because God love builds you up. Nevertheless, I'm talking about, let me just leave people alone, man. We're going to start getting hate mail and we ain't got no address. Yeah, see, I couldn't be like them people like this here. Write me letters. Well, Gino be reading letters. I'm not finna read them letters. You know what I'm saying? I can't do all that. I ain't trying to do all that. You know what I'm saying? I've been told you, we don't even need no whole bunch of people. You know what I'm saying? Dude be talking about they want 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Man, you can't watch over that many people as one person. You can't do that. Like I told you, ain't no knock on nobody. Man, ain't finna be no assembly of the firstborn Atlanta. No assembly of the firstborn Charlotte. No assembly of the firstborn Kansas City. We're not doing all that weirdo stuff. No disrespect to people who done it or who do it. Nigga, that's all weird to me. Bro, just set up a congregation and let the people run it. Why your congregation name got to be on it? You know what I'm saying? Why you got to be attached to it? The only thing that need to be attached that if you founded it, you do like what Paul them did. Let's check on our brothers and see how they do. You know what I'm saying? If it's issues too hard, they do like they did with Paul. They instead of write a letter, you can send an email. You know what I'm talking about? You can text me or call me if it was too difficult for you to deal with. Then I come through and deal with it. Outside of that, I'm gone. Like that's not how this supposed to be. Well, the men ain't had no whole bunch of churches up under their banner. What is you niggas doing? Amen, Brother Herman. Come on, where you at, my dude?
Romans 10 and 12.
Come on. Make me sick.
He said, for there is no difference between the Yahudim and the Greek, for the same Lord over all is rich unto all that call upon him. Mm-hmm. Whosoever shall call upon the name of Yahuwah shall be saved. How then shall they call on him in whom they have not
How
believed?
shall they call on him whom they have not what?
Believe.
Have not what?
Believe.
Have no Aman. How can you call on somebody you ain't got no Aman, no Amath, no Amuna, no Batak, no Tikva? Meaning no firmness in the reliability of his word, no hope or expectation of receiving anything. How you gonna do that? Remember, he said, and then they began to call upon the name of Yahuwah. So Seth and Enos couldn't call upon the name of Yahuwah except this had occurred. You know, we didn't talk about that. The same way your forefathers couldn't have called on Yahuwah in Egypt till this happened. Come on with it.
And how shall they believe in him in whom they have not heard?
How you gonna believe it? You can't have no faith if you've never heard. So the increasing of the faith comes from the hearing of the word. That's how your faith get increased. The one thing that people in this day and time ridicule is the one thing that has to be done for your faith to be increased. Go ahead.
And how shall they hear without a preacher?
How are you going to be able to hear in order to believe unless somebody has became a corelef to arrange the sentences? Or as he says, go ahead, man. Ecclesiastes 12:7. Oh, thank you, Brother Omar. I say your question wasn't off topic. Your question was right on line. Because that's why I mentioned that, right? Like I told y'all. Well, my mama been with me with the word for 11 years. Now you sit there and ask yourself this question, man. For 11 years, how many times she done heard the testimony of Mashiach in 11 years? Because that's all I've ever been on by the grace of Yahuwah. I ain't never been on nothing else. And anybody can tell you that. I've known her for 9. Have I been on anything else? I ain't never been on nothing else. Nothing. Ever. Ain't never deviated. Ain't never changed. When a nigga had his nuts crossed, talking about a nigga was stealing his work, nigga, we been doing the same thing. He don't. You know what I'm saying? Now, why he don't? He can only one can answer that. I ain't changed nothing. You know what I'm talking about? When we were talking about this a few weeks ago, me and Will, a few months ago, nigga talking about, yeah, man, see, them brothers humble to change their doctrine when it's wrong. Yeah, that ain't no problem if that's what you got to do. I ain't had to do that. You know what I'm talking about? And it ain't because I'm so great. And it's not because I'm so studied. And it's not because I'm so wise. And it's not because I'm so righteous. It's because praise be to Elohim in the name of Yahushua. He gave me a good pack from the jump street. We ain't have to go back and change nothing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't have to go back and say, oh, we got this wrong. We need to change this here. We ain't had to do that. He gave it to us right the first time. Now, you know what that means? That Yahuwah is merciful. That's what it means. Now, how many times I done told y'all that over the course of years? Man, you understand this, how merciful this man is? This man give us an understanding? You understand what that means? I'm talking about, do you really sit back and pause and understand what that means? We're not getting an understanding because I'm good. If you think that, you crazy. I'm telling you, you crazy. We get an understanding because he's merciful. You know what I'm saying? That means he wants us to be saved. How many times I done told you, you better take advantage? And I give praise to God, my mama took advantage. She took advantage, man. Because she sat back and she heard that man word and say, yeah. Them people ain't never told me that when I was going to Shiloh. I ain't never catch that when I was reading such and such. Do you understand, man, when the testimony of Mashiach recede in your heart, man, how it open your eyes, you don't see the word the same. Then, like I said, when you sit down and you read it on your own, he opened your eyes to things that I may have not mentioned yet. Because it's not about me mentioning it. He's beginning to dwell in you. He can open your eyes and you can see for yourself. But the word has to be preached to you in order for that to happen. You just don't wake up one day and that happens. If you wake up one day and that happens, that means he made you an apostle. That's what that means. You know what I'm talking about? Read me Matthew 11 and 20. Amen, Yedadiah, 11 and 27. Look at what the man say. Praise Yahuwah, Brother Nate. Brother Nate say he get word from us as Zadok, and then he just start connecting ideas with myself. Yeah, that's Yahuwah. And you know why you're able to do that? Because you laying it up in your inward man. When you lay it up in your inward man because you believe it, when you go, I told my dog that in Detroit, man, I say, hey, bro, I said, I ain't going to have to do this with you forever. I say, man, I sit down, hit you off with enough word, bro, it'll open itself up to you. Like, bro, that's what a preacher's job and desire is, to be able to hit it up so you can receive it, believe it, and then Yahuwah can manifest himself to you himself because you've already believed. Remember, that's what he said in John 14. He said, and I will manifest myself unto him. That's what he said. But you got to hear the word first. You can't study yourself into that. I know we want to convince ourselves that you can, but you can't. Because if he don't give it to you, where you going to get it from? Where you going to get it from? If he don't open it up, if he don't open the gates, how you getting in? You know what I'm saying? Nobody don't consider that. Come on with it, my G.
Say, all things are delivered unto me of my Abba, and no man know the Son but the Abba. Neither know any man the Abba save the Son, and to whomsoever the Son will reveal. You can't learn, you can't even come to the Father unless the Son reveal him to you, but the Father has to let the Son be able to be revealed to you in the first place. Come on back to read that Romans 10-14 one time. One more time. Amen. He sure will open your understanding. You got to hear and disregard what you thought you knew, and he will establish wisdom in your heart. It ain't that, man. Look at, man, and that's why I mentioned in the corporate structure, right? When somebody is an actual leader, amen, Brother Herman, who care about the people in it, he don't care if they exceed. What did the Lord say? Greater works than these you'll do than I done did. He was not concerned if those men exceeded him, because that's not the point. The point is the vision and the growth of the company, not me. See, these niggas hold information back so they can draw you along, so you can't get to a point where he open your eyes after this here. You know what I'm saying? See, I'm supposed to give you all the work possible for that to be able to happen for you. And this is not on the aspect because you scared or threatened somebody gonna be a teacher, do this, that, and the third. It's for your soul, my G. It's for your soul. That's the difference. Everybody worrying about teaching and being seen and all this other weirdo lame stuff, man, because you overcompensating, because you insecure, because you got some type of complex and you missing a point. It's for your soul, bro. Anything that come out of that after that, praise be to Yahuwah. It's not about if you could be a teacher or not. It's not about if you could be an over congregation or not. It's about if your soul say, nigga, I don't gotta preach. Man, long as my soul say, bro, I don't care nothing about being nobody preacher. Man, my soul is the most important thing to me, man. You understand? Like I said, man, I love all y'all, but that junk hit different. Like I said, man, my family's small. You did? So for my mama and my sister to be like, hey, like I said, man, I told somebody I grew up with, man. You know what I'm saying? I said, man, you know what? Know how the irony of life is? My life began with my mama nurturing and developing me and guiding me and leading me. And then at the end, it switched. But guess what? As a man, that's how it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Even if Mom Dukes got a husband. Because it could flip the same way your daddy did that for you when you was a child. He get older and flip, and now it's your job. See, when, like I said, I'm my mama's only son. See, sometimes it don't be the oldest. You know what I'm talking about, son? Usually it is. But it then becomes your job that you have to lead the family, even with your daddy still being alive. You know what I'm saying? And some men, they're not ready for that. They don't understand that. You know what I'm talking about? And it's not about leading them to dominate or rule or tell them what to do. It's about doing for them what they did for you, just in a different fashion. You understand? And you have to sit back, you got to pay attention, you got to understand that. So then when you become over a congregation, then you understand the same thing. You're supposed to look at them like you look at the people in your household. That's if you actually love the people in your household. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't love the people in their house. Everybody don't love their wife or their kids. You know what I'm talking about? You just in there with them. You know what I mean? That's just how it goes. Amen, Brother Herman. You ain't lied.
Indeed, Sean. You know what I'm saying? You gotta pay attention to that, bro. That's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about all this other stuff, man. That's nigga stuff. We talking about saint stuff. Whether Kased or Kadeshim, whatever you want to use. We talking about Yahudim stuff, man. We ain't talking about that nigga stuff, man. You get Yahudim, man, you done circumcise your heart, man. You done threw that stuff off, man. What you holding on to that for? You know what I'm saying? There's too many people in the word, man. They to the extreme or whatever type of time they on. You know what I'm saying? You know the room I be on Clubhouse, brother had used that John 5:39. What do you mean by that? I say, man, y'all don't talk about a lot of things that I care about enough to like be really intricately a part of the conversation. I say, but this right here though, yeah, we can talk about that, my nigga. They talking about what do you mean by that? This book is about him. But if you would have heard how dude tried to explain Proverbs 24:16, falling is like success. You know, and like this, I say, man, y'all niggas crazy, bro. Man, y'all have no idea how many of these people, bro, really don't understand this man word, bro, and they killing us. Not all of them intentionally now. Because he ain't gave it to him. He ain't gave it to him. Come on, bro. Read Romans 10:14 for me one more time.
So how then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? How shall they believe in him in whom they have not heard? How shall they hear without a preacher? And how shall they preach except they be sent? As it is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of shalom and bring glad tidings of good things.
That's Isaiah 52:7 for those who don't know. Come on.
But they have not all obeyed the gospel. For Isaiah saith, Lord, who have believed our report?
Now he done swung you to Isaiah 53:1.
So then faith by hearing, and hearing by the word of Elohim.
Faith come by what?
By hearing.
And hearing come by the what?
Word of Elohim.
Job said the same thing in chapter 42. That's how you increase your faith. Faith come by hearing, and hearing come by the word. So your faith get increased the more words you consume. I'm not talking about consuming, because we used to have some especially when, because you talking about almost 10 years ago, so people obviously were exponentially younger. So when you in your early 20s, especially for young ladies, because this is who was mainly doing it, you think the more, because they used to have a pretty much a competition amongst themselves about who could watch the most video. So their mind was the more videos you watch, the more word, but you not really laying that up because you watching, but you really not hearing and you're not learning. You've consumed a lot of content. You heard a lot. Let me not say heard. You listened to a lot of word, but you didn't hear it. See, sometimes it's not the quantity, it's the quality of what it is that you're receiving. You know, I done told y'all plenty of times, sometimes you have to slow it down. Take your time. Don't be frustrated and feel like, why I don't understand this and why I don't understand that. That's just you putting too much pressure on yourself. To feel like that you have to be perfected in a day, because we not like these people in this book during the time of the Mashiach and the apostles who were raised in the word, so that when the gospel was preached, that's why it was instantaneous. That's not our testimony. Most of us were never raised in the word. When I'm talking about raised in the word, I ain't talking about just keeping Sabbath days and not eating pork. I'm talking about them people knew a Messiah was coming. You know what I'm saying? They understood certain things because that's how they were raised. We were not. So you have to give yourself that type of space to understand that you coming from basically nothing. You know what I'm saying? Or like Mika had just mentioned a little while ago, or you're going to come from the fact of, I'll give you a case in point with my mom. My mama went to Catholic schools. You know what I'm talking about? Then you're growing up in the South and things of that nature. And you talking about coming into the word at 56, 57 years old. So now you're talking about going over a half of a century, hearing word that you're going to have to unlearn. And I think I mentioned this the other night. You're going to have to unlearn that. The level of humility that takes is, and I'm not saying this because this is my mom, I'm saying this because this is the reality. The level of humility that takes can't you really be quantified with words. You understand? Because most people can't do that. And I understand why. And I'm not really knocking people if they don't have the ability to do that, because I understand how the human mind works.
Learned behavior.
That's 50 plus years of learned behavior that you're telling me is 100% wrong and drop it and start over again. All type of stuff. I remember when I first got out of prison, she told me, she said, yeah, our pastor told us that Christmas and Easter is pagan. I said, well, why y'all still do it? And I wasn't saying this in no mocking sense. I'm bound with you. I said it because this is contrary to how you raised us. Because you didn't raise us to think like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you told us don't take nobody's word for nothing. Verify it for yourself. So now this person has said this. You say you verified it. Why are you participating in something that you know is not right? And this ain't even on some old churchy stuff, because for me, it's like, okay, I might just starting out in the word. You niggas hate the church. I'm looking at, that's not what you told me when I was 13. That's not what you told me when I was 14. That's not what your sister told me. I don't understand why you doing that. Because this don't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? That's where I was at with it. But I also understood, shoot, nigga, we been doing it, so what? Okay, it ain't there, but shoot, we here now. You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, I found out Christmas was flawed before I went to prison. Before I was in some word, I already knew that. I already knew that, so I didn't care. See, the difference is with some people, when you find this, at least at this generation of children, you find this stuff out 20, 21, 22, you want to run down and tell everybody. Man, I found that junk out when I was 21, 22. I'm like, well, shoot, screw that junk. I don't give a damn about Christmas anyway. You know what I'm saying? Then it just really was a loose thing you were doing. You still put, because you're not attached to no religion. So it's like, I don't care about it, but that don't mean I ain't finna go to my people's house or I ain't finna do this here because I don't care about this junk, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not a part of anything. Now, when I became a part of something, I told them, I'm not ridiculing y'all for doing Thanksgiving. I'm just not coming around it. And I'm not coming around it because I feel like I'm so holy or I'm so godly. I'm not coming around it because I have to set the standard on what type of time I'm on. See, that's what people don't understand. I'm doing this because I'm setting the standard of what type of time I'm on. Am I going to look at you and say you wicked as hell because you pulled up to your grandma's house on Thanksgiving? No, I'm not going around there. But I know you ain't went around there to ain't, matter of fact, I put it to my homeboy, put it with Christmas. You go around there to your people's house on Christmas. Ain't no gifts under the tree for you. You know what I'm saying, man? You ain't brought no gifts. Yeah. You not celebrating. You be like, shoot, man, my auntie in town, I'm finna pull up on them. If one of y'all came and told me that, I'd be like, shoot, I hear you, my nigga. I really don't care. I know I wouldn't go, but that's just me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be like, hey, auntie, man, I'm over here to the house, man. Pull up on me. Now, if she was like, oh, I can't come over there, baby. You know, like such and such. All right. Know what I'm saying? I'll pull up on you. It's no big deal. Especially if you get around there at 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night. Nigga's over. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But come on, man. You gotta have some amount of wisdom, man. So, like I said, when I mentioned what I'm fresh in the game. You have to do that fresh in the game. You have to, because they need to know that, okay, this is the type of time you're on, so they can respect the boundary. See, when you come in there with waffling and this, that, there, and the third, they're not going to respect the boundary. That's all it's for. You got to respect my boundaries. Then you could be like, hey, it's really not no big deal, man. You know, hey, y'all, I might come around now. I'm going to be to the house. Because, you know, I done told you this here, man. I'm not going to never tell y'all to abandon your people. I'm not going to tell you that. Why would I tell you that? Why would anybody with a brain tell you that? You supposed to have enough brain to know, nah, boy, man, shoot, man. Uncle Willie wicked as all outdoors, man. I'm not fooling with him. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. Or like I told Cub last night. When it comes down to certain situations and circumstances, the love has to be greater than what's been done, and then you just got to know how to move. You know what I'm saying? I told you before, some of y'all before. Y'all know this here. Man, I went to jail in 02. I told my mama, hey, man, I got about 7, 8 bands in the closet. The debit card, man, come down here and get it, bomb me out. She didn't bomb me out. Niggas spent all my money. You know what I'm talking about? All that down. But I would tell her, I say like this here. Was she wrong? Yeah. And I say, Clement, did you talk to her? Talk to her for what? The money gone. Ain't nothing to talk about. I'm saying, like, I don't want to have no conversation about why you ain't come get. I don't give a damn why you ain't come get me. I'm out now. So ain't no conversation to be had. I don't care why you. I don't even want to know what your thought process was. It's irrelevant to me. What I do know is you didn't come get me with my money. That's what I know. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You know what I'm saying? So you know what that tells me? I love you. Because guess what? I can get some more money. I can't get another you. This is my thought process. This is 2002. I'm 22 years old. This is my literal thought process. I'm not making this up. You know what I'm talking about? So then I'm like, this here, shoot. I just know when it comes to money, I can't fool with you like that. And that's it. No bitterness, no beef, no nothing. It's just when it comes to my bread, okay, I ain't telling you where it's at. That's it. No deep, no, nothing deeper than that. And guess what happened? When I went to prison and I had money in my bank account, you know what I did? I hit my cousin up. I said, I'm finna send you this power of attorney, and then you can send me my money from my bank account while I'm in here. I ain't called my mama and asked her to do that. Cause I already know I do that. I ain't gonna get my money. I'm just supposed to do it because that's my mama. She didn't already show me she ain't gonna send me my money. See, that's how some of y'all make yourself mad with people. Cause, hey man, if that's what they did, that's what they did, man. Let that junk go and just know, okay, I can't do that with I can't do that with Pop. That's it. But see, the only way that you could be able to do that is when your love for them is greater than whatever. Man, I love my mama more than I love some goddamn money, nigga. I don't put that much investment in no money, bro. Nigga, you niggas let that type of stuff control you like that? Nigga, I can make some more money. And when I say that, because I know I can make some more money, nigga, because if I made that, I can make some more. I didn't want to make it how I made it, because I ain't going to lie, based on the circumstances, I had to come back out and sell crack the same day I got out of jail from doing 6 months. Nigga looking at me like this nigga is the most craziest man in the history of drug dealing. But I had to do what I felt was necessary at the time. It's not what I wanted to do, I'll tell you that. And I definitely was pissed off that I had to do it. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, nah, man, you can't move like that, man. If people gonna do certain stuff. Now, if you love them, then hey, man, I'm just not a bitter person, and I don't hold grudges. You know what I'm saying? I never have been. My heart like I'm not like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I don't fool with you, I don't fool with you. And even with that, I'm not bitter towards you. I'm just not gonna be in your face acting like we friends, and I know that we're not. I'm a professional, and I'll treat you professionally. And if you need something and I can help you out, I'll help you. But I'm not going to be, I'm not doing that with you, bro. I don't fool with you, nigga. Straight like that. You say, Nate, say for me, it wouldn't be the money, it'd be the betrayal. I don't look at it. I didn't look at it betrayal for one reason, because I understand human nature. More specifically, I understand women and their relationship with money when they see it. Will all women do that? Nah, but more often than not, most will. Do you know what I'm talking about? So because I sit back and look at it, especially with black mamas when you selling drugs, man, look here, man, they'll take all your money when you selling drugs. Then when you go to jail, they be like, well, you should have did something else and cuff your bread. It's just part of, it's part of the game. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. What you for me, what you gonna fight her, cuss her out? You know what I'm saying? Because I done had I'm telling nigga, what did you recommend should be done? Nigga just sit there and look at you crazy. Oh, you just mad? I wasn't mad about the money. I was mad about the circumstances that I had to come home to. That's what had me upset. I don't give a damn about the money. Nigga, I can make 10 G's, nigga. That's nothing. It's light. You know what I'm saying? That's light. That's nothing. You know what I'm talking about? That's nothing. Nigga, you can do that easily. This is what we do. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, but I know where you coming from, brother. I say I'm just a different type of person. You know what I'm saying? So she knows she can tell you, Cleveland tell nigga, I don't be mad like that for long, man. So, man, I be mad about something that don't go over with. Now I can tell you right now, I'm mad right now, and have been for about 4 days. You know what I'm talking about? Because I think these people might have been very negligent with my mama. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm not gonna walk around. You ain't gonna know I'm walking around balled up, looking ugly. Man, the only time you might see me looking crazy, man, I ain't got no money. My pockets ain't straight like I want them to be. I'm trying to figure out a way to get me some money immediately. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up now. That boy say show me how to make 10. In them days, I was like, shoot. I still got to sit shoot. I got a plan with them boys in my brain. I got to sit them down just because I know I done did it before. See if you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? That I think we could get 15 to 20 if we do it right. But we might have the right amount of manpower to do it right this time. So you know what I'm talking about. I ain't had the manpower to pull it off the last time. You know what I'm saying? Because it worked. It worked just like I thought it would. Just how I planned it and put it together. I just didn't have the manpower to execute it flawlessly. You know what I'm talking about? But that was a learning experience. You know what I'm saying? But oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that ain't nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? And when I say it ain't nothing, meaning is when you do something and you know what it is that you're doing, and then you analyze how you could pull it off, you can put that together with no problem. You know what I'm saying? But that's when you just singularly focused on. It's just the same way with administering the word. This is what I do. You understand? So when you talk about this is what I do, administering the word for y'all for your salvation's sake, that's light for me. Because I've already seen from this man how to take it and give it to somebody for their benefit. Now, what they do with it, that's outside of my control. I ain't got nothing to do with that. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't got nothing to do with that. But I know how to frame it. I know when we started, we would hit 70, 80 precepts at one time, and then we dialed it back. And then sometimes we can ramp it. It all depends, man. But you gotta be proficient at what you're doing, but you have to be dedicated to what it is that you're doing. If you ain't dedicated to what you're doing, you ain't willing to make the sacrifices of what you're doing, you ain't willing to be uncomfortable, you know what I'm saying? You don't be on it day and night, then nah, it won't be easy. Stuff is only easy when you're dedicated to it and you plan properly. Then it's easy. Shoot, man. We done nigga. But that we talking about making 10 G's selling crap. You know what I'm saying? So that's a little different. It just depends on what you're doing. See, now she told you because you know what we do for a living, the market done shifted. Because shoot, I definitely put together an easy plan before the market shifted to generate 10. No problem. You know what I'm talking about? And I got a plan right now. I had one, and my brother didn't execute it with property management, preservation to generate 10. I always look for the next thing, but I look at things from selling drug perspective. And what I mean is, if I see something and I don't necessarily think it's long term, then I know what to be able to do to maximize the difference. I'll try to get out before it bottom out. You know what I'm saying? Like what I told you when I seen the jump was coming, because I seen the shift. So I want to go ahead and already have pivot or get what I can get before the police come. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be in a trap when the police come. You want to get the money and be gone before they get there. You know what I'm saying? Most people stay in spots too long. Them crackers get you. You ain't leave. You didn't read the tea leaves, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? You got to slide. You know what I mean? It's no different with the word, man. Books say a wise man, a prudent man foresee the evil and hide itself. You know what I'm saying? So that means you gotta be paying attention. You gotta be on time. You're supposed to be gone for the evil come.
That's what David did with Absalom.
Yeah, you gotta be gone for it come.
He gonna take it. Trying to get fired.
Let me find that verse for you, proper. Where you at with this, Luke?
Romans 10.
You good on that? Give him Luke 9 and 43. We about 45 minutes later on Luke 9 and 43. Go ahead, Luke 9. This is Proverbs 22 and 3 that I mentioned. He said, a prudent foresee evil and hide himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. That's peeping the game. You know what I'm saying? The simple person just, everything's good, and get your head cracked. You know what I'm talking about? Go ahead, bro. Luke 9 and 43.
Saying they were all amazed at the mighty power of Elohim, but while they wondered, everyone at all things which Yahushua did, he said unto his disciples, let these sayings sink down into your ears, for the Son of Man shall be delivered into the hands of men.
See, he tried to tell them, but notice he said, let it sink down in your ears. They know what he was talking about.
So, but they understood not this saying, and it was hid from them.
Notice that they said they didn't understand it, and Yahuwah ain't let them catch it.
That they perceived it not, and they feared to ask him of that saying.
They said, we don't even want to ask it.
Then there arose a reasoning among them, which of them should be greatest. Yahushua, perceiving the thought of their heart, took a child and set him by him. Said unto them, whosoever shall receive this child in my name, receive me.
I don't know what I should have put on here.
And whosoever shall receive me, receive him that sent me. For he that is least among you, the same shall be great.
It might be too late now.
And John answered and said, Master, we saw one casting out devils in your name, and we forbade him, because he followed not with us.
Listen what he said.
Yahushua said unto him, forbid him not, for
Why?
he that is not against us is for us.
See, that's why I don't walk around here to my whatever. It's not your job to tell somebody, you can't listen to this person. If they with us, how can they be against us? So why would you say that? Because you a buster. That's why, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Now, come on back to Philippians 1 and 12, because I took an hour and 40-minute detour.
So, but I would you should understand, brethren, that the things unto me have fallen out rather unto the fartherance of the gospel, so that my bonds in Mashiach are manifest in all the powers.
Now, I mentioned the bonds because we're not going to read it now. But in Jeremiah 26, you can read it for yourself. They took Jeremiah and they locked him up. You know what I'm saying? And right here in verse 10, I got it. In Jeremiah 26, I'm going to read your 9. Why have you prophesied in the name of Yahuwah, saying this house shall be like Shiloh, and this city shall be desolate without inhabitant? And all the people were gathered against Jeremiah in the house of Yahuwah. And when the princes of Yehuda heard these things, they came up from the king's house into the house of Yahuwah and sat down in the entry of the new gate of Yahuwah. Then spake the priests and the prophets and the princes to all the people, this man worthy to die, for he hath prophesied against this city, as you heard with your ears. Then spake Jeremiah to all the princes and all the people, saying, Yahuwah sent me to prophesy against this house and against this city, all the words that you have heard. And then, of course, he said, hey, man, if you do this to me, you got innocent blood on your hands. And, of course, y'all know they locked him up in the king's house. That's why you see the Lord get locked up in the high priest's house. This is how you know that the testimony is true. See, remember years ago, I used to tell you, because a lot of goofy niggas who was around at that time thought that I was just doing stuff just to like look at what I know, because that's the type of person that they were. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you. Because anybody who's been around me, I don't even carry myself like that. I don't even administer the word like that. You know what I'm saying? We lining up the testimony so that you might believe that Yahushua is the son of the living Elohim, to be honest with you. And for you to understand what you read, so that when you see something, you know why it's there. Now, I got this one here, Civic. I reference all that because I'm going to swing over here to Jeremiah 49. And Civic is going to go to the places that I asked him to go to if he be so inclined, from the things that we finna read from Jeremiah 49 in regards to the conversation that we had last week when the Lord was praying for that cup to pass and all those things that we discussed, but we didn't go read why he asked for that cup to pass, because it was written that he would do that. Now, before I begin Jeremiah 49, I need Civic to read me Isaiah 51 and 17. You can make it 14 because that's how I feel in the moment. Isaiah 51 and 14, listen to it. I ain't going to shortchange it.
The captive exile hastened that he may be loosed, and that he should not die in the pit, nor that his bread should fail.
Listen to that. Read it again.
Say the captive exile hastened that he may be loosed.
Pause for a second, y'all. Just pause. Let that sink into your mind. That man say the captive matter of fact, back it up to 11 and listen to what he's saying.
Therefore, the redeemed of Yahuwah shall return and come with singing unto Zion.
Pause. Those who've been redeemed from the grave by the kinsman redeemer, because we talked about that. See, I wanted to get to Psalms 144 today, but we probably won't get there. It was in my mind when we was at the cemetery. But he taught my hands to war. And then what came to my mind after that was Ecclesiastes, when they were talking about death, about there's no discharge in that battle. And then it came to my mind, you know what I'm saying? And then you got the Ephesians would take on the armor. And then, of course, we don't war after the flesh. You know what I'm saying? Things of this nature. And when I was looking at his fourth, is Mashiach going to fight that war, and how he taught
his fingers to be able to war. Not the war with swords and staves, guns or rifles. You know what I'm talking about? But the things of the Ruach in order to defeat death. Now, of course, you can see this here, and y'all know who Clothes is. We can't be on the Sabbath plugging clothes, but y'all know what time it is. You know what I'm talking about? But you see that when you look at, okay, what is life over death? What does that mean? When you look at the Son of God being manifested in the flesh, to be able to do what? To be that kinsman redeemer, to give you life over death. Because that's what Yahuwah's job was in intent from the beginning when he set forth the plan. You know what I'm talking about? Because he wants death X'd out. Remember, you made a covenant with death. He came to disannul it. That is literally life over death when he says that. Read that for him, man. Isaiah 28:14. I told you I ain't going to shortchange it. But if you want some understanding, you know what I'm saying? This might be the place you want to buy some crack from. You know what I'm talking about? And we ain't talking about no cocaine either. We talking about, you know what I'm saying? Them tables of stones that you cracked and he broke, that you broke, that Moses cracked, and then he put it back together again, make it whole, so you could get as high as you want, but not high off the releasing of oxytocin and dopamine in your brain. You know what I'm talking about? But the high of having your mind and spirit lifted above all things in heaven, that you might live forever. You understand what I'm telling you? Come on with it, man.
Wherefore hear the word of Yahuwah, you scornful men that rule this people which is in Jerusalem.
Like he talking to the preachers now.
Because you have said, we have made a covenant with death.
You've made a covenant with who?
With death.
And with
hell are we at agreement.
Oh, my Lord.
When overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us, for we have made lies our refuge.
You made what your refuge?
Lies our
you
refuge.
made lies your safety place.
And under falsehood have we hid ourselves.
And you hide yourself under lies again.
Therefore, thus saith Yahuwah Elohim, behold, I lay in Zion for a foundation, a stone.
A chief what?
A tried stone,
A
a
tried
precious
stone.
corner, a sure foundation. He that believes shall not make haste.
Tell them what tried is, man.
That's Bokan, testing, tested, tried.
This is a stone he tested. He knew he was solid. Why you think he let his son go through all these things? Man, I already know he ain't gonna fold. Have you tried my servant Job? Oh, my Lord. What my dog Mel like to say, my God today. You know what I'm talking about? Come on, Isaiah 51:11. That boy say, my God today. Come on with it.
Therefore, the redeemed of Yahuwah shall return and come with singing unto Zion and everlasting joy upon their heads.
They shall obtain what?
Gladness and joy.
And sorrow and mourning shall what?
Flee away.
That's what you got to understand, man. That resurrection of the dead, that sorrow and mourning going to flee away, man. Them former pains ain't going to be remembered. Ain't that what you read in Romans 8? That's why we can't be concerned with what these people got going on. Because when I say that, what they got going on, let me tell you something, man. Screw the United States government. Life is difficult by itself. You understand? With no oppressive regimes, people, idiots necessary. Life is difficult in itself. All by itself. Don't need no extra help. You know what I'm talking about? You got to remember that, man. Man, them people out here dealing, man, let me tell y'all something, man. I done told y'all this before. And sometimes we don't consider it. Boy, people out here dealing with some real deal stuff and you out here complaining about nothing. You know what I'm saying? As we speak, somebody just got physically abused by their parents. A young woman just got molested. A little boy just got molested by a family member, not no stranger. Because I'm going to be honest with you, children don't get molested by strangers. Not for the most part.
That's what they say. Most of the time,
it's going to be somebody they know. Most people don't get abused by a stranger. Whether it's physical, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, that's not done by strangers. You wonder why so many people are broken and have a hard time loving people, because the people who's supposed to love them did them the most damage. You know the sad part of the world that we live in, man, that, like I told y'all plenty of time before, people look at people who got genuine love in them as odd because they're not accustomed to it. Because most people don't do it. Because most people ain't experienced it. Because most people don't come from that. And that's not necessarily an indictment on people as a whole. That's just the sad reality of the world that we live in, man. It's not supposed to be like that. We're not supposed to be doing each other like this. You know what I'm saying? I know something, you don't need no word to tell you that. Of course you don't. But clearly you do, because you're doing it. You're doing it. Come on, bro. 51:12.
Say, even I am he that comforts you. Who are you that you should be afraid of man that shall die, and of the Son of Man shall be made as grass?
He said he'll comfort you. What you look like being afraid of a person who gonna die? Do you understand how crazy that is? You scared of somebody who gonna be turned to grass, bro. See, that's the increase of your faith, what he doing right now when he telling you, I will calm you. I will console you. I will comfort you. Do not be afraid of a man who gonna die. And that's why he said, don't fear him who can kill the body. Why do you think the Lord told you that? You see, he said, I tell myself all the time, I thought I had problems, meaning I'm stressed out. Small thing, which I consider big. A lot of times stress, pressure is usually self-inflicted. You usually put pressure on yourself. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you something, right? It's okay if you get stressed out. You know why? Because you're human. You know what I'm saying? Because you're human. It's okay when you come into certain situations that you might be nervous or even have some level of anxiety whenever it comes. That's why he told you to think on certain things when that happened, because you're human. Remember, I told y'all that last week. I've told y'all this in the past. I just used probably different verbiage or plainer speech, however you want to describe it last week. Man, you have the right to be a human. You have a right to be a person. You have to walk around here and act like you so godly and you so strong and this, that, and the third, if that's not where you at that particular time. It don't mean your faith weak. It don't mean you weak. It don't mean you a sucker. It just means that you're facing a difficult situation and you might need a little assistance, support, and strength to be able to overcome it. And that's okay. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up and down. We should say, my mama called herself mad at me right now. So she'll use her missing my daughter so she can continue to come around and feel like she continue to say whatever she wanted to me about how I'm living. Constantly crossing my boundaries. And that I'm not feeling. My dad told me that's just who she is, and just excuse it and still love your mama. So I love her, but continuing crossing boundaries, not sure how to handle that right now. I'm be honest with you. The only way to handle that is to be very direct, straightforward, and let her know that, Mama, I love you, but I do not appreciate how you are violating my boundaries in 1, 2, and 3. Now, I understand you want to see your granddaughter, and that's fine. But if you continue to violate my boundaries, you can't come over here. I can bring her to you. You can come pick her up, and she can go with you. But you're not going to come over here if you keep disrespecting my husband. I can't allow that. I won't allow that. And if it continues, then I have to take corrective action. No disrespect. That's all. So they say, learn to give myself grace and understanding where I'm at and learning things and looking for ways. Yeah, man, you can't, y'all be putting too much pressure on yourself and you don't allow yourself to be a person. Saying just because you in the word does not mean that all of a sudden you're an invincible person and nothing is going to bother you and this, that, there, and the third. And then when stuff do, you think it's reflective of, oh, my understanding must be bad or my faith must be weak. No, just means you're human. That's all. Just means you come from Adam. That's it. No more to it than that. No more to it than that. You allowed to be that. Remember, then we did talk about a couple weeks ago. I think Mondoose was here to be angry and sin not. Mm-hmm. Don't let the sun go down on your wrath. You allowed to be human. It's not what you feel. It's how you respond. It's not what you go through. It's how you respond. It's not what others do. It's how you respond. You know why? Because that's the only thing that you can control is how you respond. That's the only thing you can control. And when you understand that, then what other people do, I've been telling you this for years because I told you this, because my mama taught me this. What other people do has nothing to do with you. When you understand that what other people do have nothing to do with you, then the only thing that you can be concerned with is how you respond, knowing that most of the time what people do is reflective of how they feel about themselves. And that will remove the angst and that's a part of the reason why I don't be bitter or nothing like this here, because I know, hey, well, however you moving, brother, that ain't got nothing to do with me. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That's your stuff. It's something that my mama them taught us earlier. It is. He said, hey, man, you don't necessarily have to dislike or hate people. You can have a dislike for how they behave. You know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily have a problem with you. I got a problem with what you do. I don't rock with that. See, most of us don't have the wisdom and understanding to separate the two. Because sometimes some people just not bad. They just got bad ways. And then some people just bad. You got to leave them alone. You know what I'm saying? Some people just got bad ways when it comes to certain stuff like, really? I don't rock with that right there. I rock with you, but I don't rock with that. You know what I'm saying? He said, to be honest, when they're raising you, don't really get a lot of room to handle pressure. But this right here is, it's not even that you're being correct. Well, if you look at correction as instruction, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to look at yourself as that you're not necessarily getting corrected. You're just getting a perspective that you may not have heard before. See, really what I'm trying to do, why I'm wording it this way, is I don't want y'all to be so hard on yourself mentally about things that you may have not learned or didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Or look here, man, you're gonna learn different perspectives prayerfully to the day that you die. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's experiences is different. So you know what I'm saying? They can see things from a different point of view. Let me tell you something. I was telling Cud this last night. And this is based on how I was raised. Me and Cud like this here, man. Just because I was raised, don't jump off the top rope because somebody say something that you don't agree with, or this, that, and the third. But ask him how you got to that point of view. Because he posted something one day. This is almost 10 years ago. And I was like, hey, bro, hit my phone, man. I want to understand where you coming from. He was like, out of all the people on there, you're the only person who asked that. Because it's okay if you don't agree with somebody's point of view, but do you care enough to even understand their point of view? Do you have the maturity and the emotional control to be able to disagree with a point of view and not be belligerent and a douchebag at the same time? And guess what? That's my nigga to this day just because of that. Because you may not always have the same point of view that your friends have, man. Is the love only dictated if y'all hold the same point of view? But see, everybody not taught that. Everybody ain't raised that way, man. You know what I'm saying? But that's okay. But when you learn new information, you can take that information and use it for your betterment. That's all. That's how we got to look at life, man. Take the pressure off your shoulders, baby. You know what I'm saying? And be easy. Because at the end of the day, your people can only teach you what they know. Don't be upset with them because they didn't give you certain information you felt like they should have known. What makes you think they should have knew it? Because they can only teach you from what they've seen and what they were taught. That's just life. Your level of information, wisdom, and understanding of what the case may be is directly correlated to the people in your life. Most of us don't know how have the ability to orchestrate billion-dollar corporations. You know why? Because we don't know nobody in our life who's done it. When I say no, I mean that you got access to them. But it's other people in this world that they got access to the people. So they can get that information. Does that make that person, because they have access to that information, better than you? No. They just have access to a different person than you. That's it. And that's how you got to look at it. But you have to remember this here. When you have the opportunity to come across somebody who has information or a point of view that you didn't have, and you see it could be beneficial to your life, take it and maximize it. That's it. Go ahead, bro. 51-13.
Forget Yahuwah your maker that have stretched forth Shamahim and laid the foundations of the earth.
Have you feared continually every day?
because of the fury of the
as
oppressor.
if he were ready to destroy.
And where's the fury of the
The
oppressor?
captive exile,
Hasten that he may be loose,
and that he should not what?
die in the pit, nor that his bread should
But I,
fail.
Yahuwah your Elohim,
You have divided the sea whose waves roared. Yahuwah of hosts his name.
I put my words in your what?
In your mouth,
And I covered you in the what?
shadow of my hand.
That I might do what?
Plant Shamahim,
And later what?
foundations of the
And
earth.
say unto who?
Zion, you my people.
Look here. I got this here. Let's look at this captive exile. You say you got the captive exile, man. Does he hasten? Let's take a look. What does it mean? What's causing all this? That's what Ric Flair said. When you look at the captive exile, which is all one word, this is Sa'ah, Sa'ad, Ayin, and Hay. It's to imprison or conquer, to lie down, captive exile, traveling, causing to wander, because it means to stoop, to bend, to incline. You know what I'm saying? But also in the figurative point, to depopulate. But more important than this one here is simply to be imprisoned. He say the person who's been in prison has hastened. And what is hastened? It's mahar, to be hurried or to be anxious, to prepare quickly. And in the aspect of what we're looking at, because he's telling you not to fear man, this person who's been imprisoned has some anxiety. And in the midst of this anxiety, he has this anxiety that he may be what? Loose, which is patak, which is to be opened or to let loose. Paul, didn't Joseph have this same level of anxiety? Hoping to be loosed? You know what I'm saying? Didn't Mashiach have this same level of anxiety, hoping to be loosed? Let's look at verse 17, because we want to get down to, hold on. We got to get to 23, 22. I ain't got time. Oh, my bad. You can't read verse 17. And then go to 22.
It say, awake, awake, stand up, O Jerusalem, which have drunk at the hand of Yahuwah, the cup of his fury. You have drunken the dregs of the cup of trembling and wrung out.
Cup, the drink of the cups of what?
Of trembling.
Now read verse 22. Isaiah 51, by the way.
Thus saith Yahuwah, the Elohim, that plead the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of your hand the cup of trembling, the dregs of the cup of my fury. You shall no more drink it again. But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict you, which have said to your soul, bow down, that we may go over.
Did Mashiach drink that cup? Don't Ezekiel 12 tell you that he would eat his bread and drink his water with trembling? Why you think the book say serve God with fear and trembling? Everybody say work out your salvation with fear and trembling. Nigga ain't got no fear or no trembling. Niggas just recite stuff because that's what you hear people say because it sounds good. Where your reverence and respect and fear at his name that you tremble. You ain't got none. But you say it. You work out your own salvation. Work these nuts. Because that's all you're doing. Is being a nut. You know what I'm talking about? A straight up idiot. Intentionally at that. You know what I'm saying? And why? But go ahead. I hate it.
He said, if you have laid your body as the ground and as the street to them that went over.
Listen, when that man drank that cup saying this is my blood in the New Testament, well, that man was drinking the cup of that man fury. You know what happened after he drank that? After he drank that cup, that man said he was exceedingly sorrowful even unto death. See how the captive exiled and hastened? That man became anxious after that. And you know what he did when he became anxious? He did exactly what Paul wrote in Philippians 4. Be anxious for nothing, but think on that which is pure. Think on that which is good. He went immediately to think on his father in that period of anxiety. And understandably so. See, a lot of times, as unfortunately, man, and I'll say this for people in the world, people outside the world, I can understand why their behavior would be that way. People who say they in the word get anxious. You want to drink. You want to smoke. You want to hunch on any and everybody you see. You know what I'm saying? You want to do all the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes take over because your inward man is destitute of the words of faith to be able to hold on to in those times of anxiety, tribulation, suffering, and pain. He ain't got nothing to hold to. So he going to do what's going to make him feel better in the moment, but it's always temporary. It's always temporary. If you take your mind back to before you were in the word, because if you're adept enough, you'll be able to recognize certain situations where it was Yahuwah, when you didn't know it was Yahuwah, And I'm just mentioning that for a reason. But then you'll also recognize the times where you know you participated in certain conduct or behavior because your inward man was depleted. And you knew it was depleted, but you had no way to fill it up because you didn't have the proper information at the time to do so. See, you can fill your inward man up to where you don't participate in destructive behavior without the word, but that comes with a particular type of upbringing. You know what I'm saying? But even with a particular type, that same particular type of upbringing, if that inward man has a void and is lacking something, you're going to seek to fill it. You know what I'm saying? Now, whatever you seek to fill it with is whatever you seek to fill it with. But this is what happens. And see, all you niggas want to fill people up with is information, not salvation, but information. And the only information that you want to give people is really carnal in nature, so it does nothing for the emptiness of the soul that this person has. Now, everyone doesn't have a hole in their soul. Let's let that be known. Because I ain't have no hole in my soul before I came in the word. There was no faith for me. So we just out here. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm looking like, hey man, I want to know what the truth is, but at this particular time, I'm trying to just get some money, bro. And have a better life and not have to be concerned with X, Y, Z. That's it. I ain't just sitting there thinking about, I'm gonna go to church on Sunday. That man, I ain't care about none of that. I remember I was in there with a dude in the county, man. He was a Muslim. He like, yeah, man, come do salat with me. I'm like, all right. He's like, yeah, man, so what you think? I don't want to be a Muslim, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You my nigga, you know what I'm saying? I read the stuff, man. You wanted me to pray with you, bro. You know what I'm saying? You got to do this voodoo stuff. You got to put water all in your nose, all this, all, you know, because they had to wash before they pray. Like it's a ritual type of thing. Like with Yahuwah, y'all can pray anywhere, anytime. You know what I'm saying? Like before they can pray, they have to literally take a bird bath, for lack of a better term. They have to wash. Then they can pray. If they don't do what's called voodoo, if my memory serves me correctly, they can't pray. You know what I'm saying? And he doing all this extra stuff, and I'm like, nigga, when I get up out of here, I ain't finna do this, bro. So that's why I wasn't attached to it, like, because I wasn't doing this before I came here. So I'm not finna come in here and be Shareem Akbar. Because when I leave here, I'm gonna be the nigga I was before I got here. I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? You can go to New York City right now and be like, peace, God. You know, all this nigga sell crack and bust guns. Man, all them God-body niggas, man, them niggas was criminals. But they get on record to my peace, God. You know the black man is God. He pimping hoes on the side. I'm not saying that for comedic effect. I'm telling you because this is the truth. Anybody who from New York City can tell you. All them God-body niggas was criminals. For the most part. If you watch doggone, and I ain't just saying this because of the TV show, because I knew this before the TV show. You look at that Wu-Tang jump, bro, all them niggas were talking about that God-body stuff. Them niggas were committing crimes and were whoremongers. Whole time they in your face to my peace, God. What's today's mathematics, God? You wicked and a sinner. That's the mathematics. Multiply that. Add that up. Equals hell. I don't want nothing to do with that. Come on, bro. Oh, I'm in Jeremiah 49. I'm sorry. Come over here to Jeremiah 49:1, y'all. Listen what he say closely. See if it could be in Matthew 26 unless otherwise noted. Concerning the Ammonites, thus saith Yahuwah, have Yasharal no sons? Have he no heir? Why do their king inherit Gad and his people dwell in their cities? Look at what his man's son, he said he ain't got no who? No son and no who? You go to read Luke 1, and what he say? He sit on the throne of his father Jacob, and he'll be called great. Ain't that having a son? Ain't that having an heir? Okay. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahuwah, that I will cause an alarm of war to be heard in Rabbah of the Ammonites, and it shall be a desolate heap, and her daughter shall be burned with fire. Then shall Yasharal be heir unto them that were his heirs, saith Yahuwah. Sound like he gonna do them like he did Babylon. He gonna burn them. Look at the next thing he said. How, O Heshbon? For Ai is spoiled. Cry, you daughters of Rabbah. Gird you with sackcloth and lament. Run to and fro by the hedges, for their king shall go into captivity, his princes, priests and princes together. Wherefore esteem you in the valleys, you flowing valley, O backsliding daughter that trusted in the treasures, who shall come unto me? Behold, I will bring fear upon you, saith Yahuwah Elohim of hosts. All those that are about you shall be driven out, every man right forth, and none shall gather up him that wander. And afterwards, I will bring again the captivity of the sons of Ammon. Now, of course, this is a prophecy for Ammon. Now, listen, verse 7. This is a prophecy for Edom. Let me tell y'all something. Their prophecy for Edom is the same thing you see in the book of Obadiah. Pretty much word for word. Some of y'all remember this and know this. Concerning Edom, thus saith Yahuwah of hosts, wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Flee you, turn back to El Depot, inhabitants of Dedan, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time I will visit him. If grape gatherers come to you, will they not leave gleaning grapes? If thieves by night, will they not destroy till they have enough? Guess what? That's what they did when they came and got him. Didn't he say, you come at me against a thief, like a thief with what? Swords and staves? He said, but I've made Esau bare. Tell him what bear he is, man. This is a bear in the woods. Is it Yogi Bear? Is it Huggy Bear? You know Huggy Bear? You don't know Huggy Bear. It's a black exploitation actor.
That's kasaf. To strip off, to lay bare, to make bare, to draw out.
To strip and make bare. You know they're talking about the Lord now.
That's
I know.
To discover, to uncover.
To discover, because you know a lot of people ain't gonna want to hear that. Just Esau. John 5:39 for the silly nigga in the back who put gum up under his desk. You know what I'm saying? And sniff glue. How many of y'all used to be in school sniffing glue? I know Boot was in there sniffing. Sniffing and eating glue. That's what you did in first grade. Come on.
Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life.
And they do what?
They are they which testify of me.
That's all you need to know. So when you read verse 9, 10 again, he said, I've made Esau bare. I've uncovered his secret places. He shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. What does this mean when he say he is not? All these people spoiled. You got some spoiled milk? You ever drank some spoiled milk, Civic? You kept on drinking it, didn't you?
Right on.
Poured it down the drain. When you look at when he said he uncovered, that is galah. That is to uncover or to remove or to reveal himself. Get him John 18:1 and let it go. Now, before you let it go, he said his seed is spoiled, which is going to be Zerah. And what is spoiled? That is Sadah. That is to deal with violently, to violently destroy or to be devastated. And his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. So, of course, when you got and he not, that's a different type of word. That's nothing not without lack of. It's a preposition. It's adverb. You know what I'm saying? As if nothing or not exist. Go ahead.
When Yahushua had spoken these words, he went forth with the disciples over the brook Cedron, where was a garden, into the which he entered and his disciples. And Judas also, which betrayed him, knew the place. For Yahushua oftentimes resorted there with his disciples.
Now, I'm going to tell you something, right? A lot of people from that Genesis 49 say Dan ain't a tribe because they say Dan judged himself as one of the tribes of Israel. But he'll be a serpent and an adder, by the way. That was talking about Judas. You know what I'm saying? He judged himself as an apostle, but he was a serpent and an adder. Go ahead.
Judas then, having received the band and officers from the chief priests and Pharisees, came there with lanterns and torches and weapons. Yahushua, therefore, knowing all things that should come upon him, went forth and said unto them, Whom seek you? They answered him, Yahushua of Nazareth. Yahushua said unto them, I am he. Judas also, which betrayed him, stood with them. As soon as then he said unto them, I am he, they went backward and fell to the ground.
They went what?
Backward and fell to the ground. Then asked he them again, Whom seek you? And they said, Yahushua of Nazareth.
Now, you remember, they coming to do what? To destroy. This is another reason why the apostles had to flee, or they would have killed them too. But y'all know that.
Yahushua answered, I've told you that I am he, therefore you seek me, let these go their way.
Don't you see how he's uncovered his secret places? What is secret places? That used to be your song, Secret Garden. So you used to play that when you were little? Or your mama did?
Unfortunately, I don't know what you're talking about.
Dang, you don't know Quincy Jones? Thank God, then. Secret places is mitzar, mean, tet, tau, rod. Secret place, hiding place, or hiding place for protection. Did he have protection in that day? What did he tell Pilate? Who delivered me into your hand? So he ain't had no protection in that day. Esau has been made bare. What does Esau mean? The ruddy one. You know what I'm talking about? Why has Esau been made bare? Because what did the Lord, niggas get offended when they hear this stuff. Christ, I told dude, say, Christ didn't forsake his birthright. I said, how he did? I say he didn't give up the right to the firstborn. He didn't give it up for a pot of beans. He gave it up for a cup of wine and a piece of bread. He did the same thing. Why did he do it? So you could have it, dummy. You know what I'm saying? When I was telling them this the other day, right? I say a lot of people's problem is when you say the whole book is about the Lord, they look at, show me where it say Jesus at. See, I know you're stupid. You know what I'm saying? Jesus' name ain't nowhere in there. And when I told them what I told y'all plenty of times, when this man talking about he testifying to him, he is walking out the actions of these people who came before him to show you that he the one who been sent. You know what I mean? I say you miss the action of God because you're not looking for the action of God. Because as he said in John 5, I know you, the love of Elohim is not in you. Because if it was, you would see it. Which is why I always use Adam dying for his wife as the example, because they can't see it. They can't see what he did. They can't see what he did because you got so much knowledge, but the love of God ain't in you. You can't see the sacrifice. Because you view it as a nigga who weak for his woman because you weak for women. You know, these dudes keep sharing this stuff with the dude, Yada, talking about make a man pay you $50,000 to talk to you, man. Man, you don't know nobody in real life pay attention to that stuff, and only lonely women on the internet pay attention to that stuff. Because these women out here tossing coochie out of both panty legs ain't asking a nigga for 50 cents, much less 50 racks. Let me tell you something, man. If ain't nobody offered you 50 racks, you ain't got 50 rack coochie. Do you know what I'm talking about? And I ain't saying that to be disrespectful. Because how many women walking this earth got men throwing that kind of money at them? Not many. Shoot, how many men got that kind of money? Not many. You know the type of women get 50 racks thrown at them? Prostitutes. Women of low degree. Because if a man throwing 50 racks at you, guess what you would have had to been there with him, helping him in the process of his progress or whatever he was doing. The way you earned them 50 racks, he didn't care nothing about getting it to you. Like I just keep seeing these people talking about these men don't know. A submissive woman can control a man. If a woman submission can control you, you a buster and a certified sucker. You know what I'm talking about? But people always say that submissive women can control a man. Dude, so I wouldn't say control. I said influence. Somebody yielding to your authority influence you. So that means God, and that means you control God then, you dummy. You know what a submissive woman gets? What she earns. You're going to reward her for what she's done. Ain't that what you would do? It's not that hard. Just like I used to hear women always say the man might be the head, but the woman's the neck. Nigga, what? What does that even mean? Because you can't turn the head without the neck. Well, the neck's not turning the head. The brain is. The brain is telling the neck what to do. You that stupid? The neck doesn't say head, turn to the right. And the head just go. The brain literally has to signal to the neck to what to do. The neck doesn't move independently of the brain. I'm like, you hoes are dumb. You know who told you that? Your bald-headed mama who ain't got no man. a woman on here got mad with me about that one day. I say, man, ain't no neck controlling no head. The man might be the head, but the woman the neck. I say, where your man at for you to be the neck to? Exactly. You know what I'm saying? If your woman, man, look at you say pastors be saying that, John. Oh, that's terrible. You know what I'm saying? Man, if your woman doing her job, you supposed to reward her, man. That ain't supposed to be no problem. You take pleasure in doing it. Because she take pleasure in you. That's what it's supposed to be about. Not the neck and all this old goofy stuff you coming up with. Man, you listening to people who hate God and who ain't got nobody. You listening to weak men and weaker women. Mainly weak men. Because it was men who were sharing that. A submissive woman can control a man. Boy, if a woman can control you, bro, you need help that only Yahuwah can give. Because if the woman can control you, she can destroy you, stupid. You're supposed to be controlled by Yahuwah, not your woman, you dummy. What's wrong with you? I need to find a stone pad and hit you with it. Damn fool. Come on, man. Where we at with it? I'm in verse 11, man. Jeremiah 49. He said, leave your fatherless children, I will preserve alive, and let your widows trust in me. Y'all know what a fatherless child is. And and I don't say this to be disrespectful. Stop talking about a fatherless child is a woman who got a child and she not with the daddy. That is not a fatherless child. The word is yatham. That is an orphan. Fatherless. Meaning to be lonely, a bereaved person. Do y'all know what a bereaved person is? I would be considered that at this particular time. That means somebody's sad because somebody died. You know what I'm talking about? So when you turn around and you look at somebody being a fatherless child, that means your daddy died. And you know what an orphan is? You ain't got no parents, which is where the origin of step-parent came. I told you that where stepfather came from. Is that was a man who married somebody whose daddy died. That's where that comes from. Or became a parent to a literal orphan. It don't mean what we use it for now. Of course, we know what it means now. Then, of course, you got these people with all these cliches. He's not a step parent. He's a parent who stepped up. Shut up, Hope. You sound dumb. And you know why you sound dumb? Because you just making up stuff instead of saying, okay, this man fooled with me and he helped raise my child. You ain't got to come up with all these cliches that y'all like to put out here to try to sell somebody to do something. You got to do all that. That's not necessary. You know why? Because everything ain't for everybody. What do I mean by that? Some of you niggas don't need to be parents, period. You don't even need to have children that are yours till you get your mind right. You know what I'm talking about? And raising somebody else's child that's not yours, you have to go into that and know what you're doing. But most importantly, you got to make sure that that woman on what she on, and more importantly, if that man got some kids, that's what you want to do. Because you got extenuating factors. Like if you're dealing with a woman, she got kids, man, you might have to deal with the father of that child. If that's something that you want to deal with, and I ain't talking about that junk where they be talking about drama and all this other type of stuff. Because a lot of dudes feel like, hey, man, she might want to still be with him and have sex with him. I don't want to be caught up with that. Now, you got some women to be like, that man couldn't get this coochie if he had $10 million in a gateway to heaven. He got to get out my face. Because that do happen. I know every man feel like every man who have a child with a woman, he can always hit her. Some women, that's just not the case. Like that's a strong no. You know what I'm talking about? Just like on the other side of it, it's a lot of dudes who women think like he still want his baby mama. Some brother like, look here, man. I'd rather go play penis in a puppet, be fooled up with that woman. You know what I'm saying? Because he already regret having a baby from the woman. You know what I'm talking about? Much less time I go back and keep laying with her. I'm not finna do that. But you gotta, when you do things in life, man, you have to sit down, you have to weigh it out. Like the man said, do you got sufficient to pay? Is this something that you want to be a part of? And you have to be honest with yourself and what you're doing. A lot of people, when they come to their word, they're not honest with themselves on what it is that they're doing. She said my ex-baby mama wanted to fight. She made sure to be an issue. He went back and had another baby with her. Now he married to someone else. He sounds like he's stupid. Don't it though? He sounds like he's good stupid. Now listen, right? He said he will preserve the orphans alive. If you want to know to let the widows trust in me, that's Anna, the prophetess that you can see in Luke. Because what is a widow? That's an almana. That is a widow. That's a desolate place. That's a woman whose husbands died. Notice that he dealing with, look at the key component of what he's talking about. What are y'all peeping at? Of course, it's kaya for preserve. He give them life. What's the key component you see in this verse? These are two sets of people who don't have a man in their life. So Yahuwah is going to come in and be that man. That father's child, your daddy died, I'll be your father. Ain't that what your law say? That he's a father to the father? He says it repeatedly. He says repeatedly that he look out for the widow, repeatedly. Because a woman is to have a husband. And if she don't have if her husband done died, then he say, hey man, trust in me, I'm going to be that stay for you. Verse 12. Jeremiah 49. For thus saith Yahuwah, behold, those who judgment not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken, and he shall altogether go unpunished. Shall you not go unpunished, but you shall surely drink. What did the Lord say? If it be possible, what? Now you know why he said it. Did he just say whose judgment it was not to drink the cup, they gonna drink it? Was it not Yahushua's judgment to not drink the cup? But he surely drunk it, didn't he? Okay. And guess what? You drink that cup every year in remembrance of him. So you ought to consider. Verse 13. For I sworn by myself, saith Yahuwah, that Basra shall become a desolation, a reproach, a waste, a curse. All the cities thereof shall be a perpetual waste. I have heard a rumor from Yahuwah, an ambassador is sent unto the heathen, gather together and come against her and rise up to the battle. For I will make you small among the heathen and despised among men. Was not Yahushua despised? Was he not made small among the heathen? What is a heathen? Ain't nothing but a nation of people. Is the word goy. It don't mean like what, you know what I'm saying, the English word for heathen. And when you're dealing with small, that's insignificant and unimportant. Wasn't Yahushua insignificant and unimportant to the people? He was insignificant and unimportant enough for them to say, let his blood be on our children's children. The terribleness have, this is verse 16, the terribleness have deceived you, and the pride of your heart, O you that dwell in the clefts of the rock, that hold the height of the hill, that you should make your nest high as an eagle. I will bring you down from thence, saith Yahuwah. Did he not bring it down? Did he not do that? Mm-hmm. Now let's finish this Philippians 1, and we're going to get out of here because we had 2.5 hours strong. I'm not going to keep y'all here all night. We ain't going to try to reach midnight this evening. We 30 minutes short of it. Read verse 12 again, Philippians chapter 1.
Say, but I would.
Paul, I didn't want y'all to see why he asked for the cup to pass, because it was written. That's just not something that was there. It's written. That's how you know he the one. Go ahead.
But I would you should understand, brethren, that the things unto me have fallen out rather unto the fartherance of the gospel.
So that my what?
Bonds and Mashiach are manifest in all the palace and in all other. And many of the brethren, the
waxing what?
Confident by my bonds, are much more bold to speak the word without fear.
You see how the level of strength that this man had to display to strengthen others to do the same? And he's suffering doing it. See, let me tell you something, man. You could be suffering, but you still know that you have to be a beacon of a particular level of strength and example to embolden others. That sometimes you have to set aside what you're dealing with for the people's sake, for the furtherance of the mission. Because there's some things that are more important than what you're dealing with at any given time. If you want to be in a position of leadership or all this other stuff that people we want to be in. Most niggas don't want to be in a position of leadership. They want to be famous. Niggas want to be known. They want to be seen like hoes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that joint gay. Come on with it.
Some indeed preach Mashiach even of envy and strife, and some
Mm.
also of goodwill,
The one that preach a Mashiach,
of contention, not sincerely,
supposing to what?
add affliction to my bonds,
But the other,
of love,
knowing that I am,
set for the defense of the gospel,
what then?
notwithstanding every way, whether in pretense
Or in truth.
Hamashiach is preached,
And I do what?
rejoice,
Yea, and what?
will rejoice.
And I know that this shall turn to my what?
Salvation through your prayer and the supply of the Ruach of Yahushua HaMashiach,
According to my earnest what?
expectation and hope.
That in nothing.
I shall be
And
ashamed.
that's what we read in Isaiah.
Mhm.
And that with all what?
Boldness as
See,
always.
that's Proverbs 28:1. You know, the people focus on the wicked flee when no man pursue it, but he said the righteous are bold as a lion. See, that bold as a lion ain't dealing with debating and fighting. That bold as a lion is confidence in Yahuwah. So that you can stand confidently and boldly in the word of salvation. Come on with it.
According to my earnest expectation and hope that in nothing I shall be ashamed, but with all boldness as always, now also Mashiach shall be magnified in my body,
Whether in what?
by life or by death.
For me to live
Is Mashiach
and to die.
gain.
Tell him what gain is, man.
That's Kerdos, gain, advantage.
Now we get a level of advantage. He say, for me to live is a Mashiach, and for me to die is gain. Now, see, I'm going to tell you something, and I've said this to y'all before. Before my mama died on May 13th, prayerfully, she died long before then. You know how? Because when you take up your stake daily and follow him, you put to death sin. See, read Romans 6:1. What is that? Because when you look at what advantage do you get by dying to sin, you get to live for a Mashiach and you have everlasting life. This is why I could say we could put her in here to the first Adam and she returned to the dust to be raised unto the second Adam, like we read. Because guess what? If a body's in the grave long enough, what happens? What's going to be left? Bones. And what type of bones are they going to be? Dry bones. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about literally. And we were to dig up graves of people who had been in there for a long season. I don't think most of them even going to have no odor. There ain't going to be no odor left because the flesh is gone. The only thing that's going to be left is dry bones. So most people look at all of it. He literally going to take them bones and reanimate them with flesh and put his ruach in them. So that's what we mean when we say you get put into the first Adam, but you're going to be raised in the image of the second. But even raised in the image of the same way that the first Adam was created, but with something greater that he didn't have. This is what he means, say, what good is it to wait for something if you could see it? See, people don't want to hear that. Because you want to see the resurrection of the dead, and then I'll believe. You never believed. So therefore, you don't have that hope. So therefore, you won't receive it. See, this is not a blind faith and all this old other goofy stuff that y'all sit here and let people say to you. And then you regurgitate it like a jackass. You're supposed to know your God. Know who you're dealing with, know how he operates, and know that he is not a man that he should lie, nor the son of Adam that he should repent. And when he say it, he gonna do it. And what he has promised, he will surely bring it to pass. Because I know that my Redeemer live and stand on the earth at the latter day. Didn't Job tell you, and as I see him in my flesh, even after worms destroyed his body? Read it for him. Job 19:25. You know, I don't never need no reason. And you know why I don't never need no reason? Because from the first time I seen that verse, I believed it. Because I understood what it meant. That's why I believed it. I just didn't believe it because I read it. When I read it, I understood what it meant. And I say, well, that's a fact then. That's what it is. Because if that's not what it is, it wouldn't be in here. Come on, man.
For I know that my Redeemer live, and he shall stand at the ladder upon the earth.
Mm-hmm.
After my skin worms destroy this body, yet in my flesh shall I see Elohim.
That's right.
Whom I shall see for myself, my eyes shall behold, not another. My reins be consumed within me. But you should say, why persecute we him, seeing the root of the matter is found in me? Be you afraid of the sword?
Read Job 19:25 again. See if you read him, you know when to stop. He just go. I ain't mad at him because ain't nobody telling.
Say, for I know that my Redeemer live, and that he shall stand at the ladder upon the earth. And though after my skin worms destroy this body, yet in my flesh shall I see Elohim.
Yet in my flesh shall I see my God. Come on.
Whom I shall see for myself.
I see him for my who?
For myself.
I see him for my who?
For myself.
Now, how Job know this? Does even Job understand what he's saying? Come on.
And my eyes shall behold and not another, though my reins be consumed within me.
Now, Brother Ernest just asked, how can one be resurrected if they cremated? Before we get to that, read them Job 14:1. We just talked about it not too long ago. Read it again. See, this is the gain to die. To die to your sins, to die to the world, to die to the pride of life is your advantage. That man say, for me to live, Hamashiach, and to die. Notice this here, man. How do you gain by dying? What advantage do you get? The advantage that you get is that when you actually literally die, because you died before you hit the grave, there's an expectation of everlasting life awaiting you. You understand? Come on with it.
Man born of a woman a few days full of trouble. He come forth like a flower and is cut down. He flee also as a shadow and continue not. And do you open your eyes upon such a one and bring me into judgment with you?
Bring me into judgment.
Who can bring a clean out of an unclean? Not one.
Not one.
Seeing his days determined, the number of his months with you, you have appointed his bounds that he cannot pass.
Like I said, man, as tough as it might be, her days, that's what it said, right? Your days are determined. The number of your months are with you. He know how long you're going to be here, and you're not going past it. Go ahead.
Turn from him that he may rest till he shall accomplish as a hireling his day.
He say that he may rest till he what? You know what a hireling is till you get paid in your day. When is that day? It's the day of resurrection. He said, for the hope of a tree is if it's what?
Be cut down.
It will do what?
Sprout again.
Then the tender branch thereof
will not cease.
You won't stop. But go ahead. Though the root thereof what?
Wax old
and the stock thereof what?
Die in the ground.
Through the sin of water.
It will bud.
And bring forth what?
Bowls like a plant.
Notice he say the sin of water. Ruach HaKadosh, the Mayim, everlasting life. Go ahead.
But man die and waste away.
Man give up the what?
The Ruach, and where is he?
As the waters fell from the sea.
And the flood decay and dry up.
So man lay down.
And rise not.
Till the heavens be what?
No more.
So you're not getting up to that sky. See, these dudes will tell you, that sky ain't never going to crack. Well, if that sky don't crack, ain't nobody getting up. Because that's what he said. Read it again from the top.
Say, so man lie down and rise not, till Shamahim be no more.
They shall not awake.
Nor be raised out of their sleep.
That's how you have to look at death. You sleep. You not going to come up out that grave. The Lord said when he come back, he coming back with a what? With a shout. Come on, man. Oh, that you would what?
Hide me in the grave.
That you would keep me what?
Secret.
Until your what?
Wrath be past.
That you would appoint me a what?
A set time.
And do what?
Remember me.
He said, man, when you come in your kingdom, you remember me. How does he remember you? By writing your name in his book of life. How you get your name written in the book of life? The just live by their faith. Well, how you live by your faith? Because you heard the word. Come on, man. If a man die, shall he what?
Live.
And all the days of my appointed time will I what?
Wait.
Till my what?
Change comes.
So guess what? It don't see that go. You see, even if you get cremated, what happens when you get cremated? What's in that urn? What he told you, dust you all shall return. Then he say dust and what?
Ashes.
So it don't matter. You can still be reformulated. That's a light thing. Shoot, you got people who've been eaten by animals whole. He say death gonna give. He said the sea gonna give up they dead. Everybody coming from up out of there. It don't matter where you at. You gonna see a nigga pop up out that urn. You're like, but what's going on here? Ain't nothing too hard for you. Read verse 14 again. He said, if a man die, shall he what?
Shall he live?
That's the question we asking. Will a man live again when he died? Oh, thank you, brother Ernest. No problem, man. He said, all the days of my appointed time will I what?
Wait.
Till my what?
Change come.
Look here, man. We about to put mom in the grave, but all she gonna do is wait in the grave till her what? Till her change come. That ain't no different than anybody else. Listen, what's the thing he said, man? You shall what?
Call,
and I will what?
Answer you.
And you will have a desire
to the work of your hands.
When he called Lazarus, didn't it? Let me read this John 5. What the Lord tells you right here in John 5 and 25. What he told you. He said, truly I say unto you, the hour is coming now is when the dead shall hear the voice of who? The son of Elohim, and they that hear shall live. Ain't that what he just said in Job 14? That's your hope and expectation. That's why you can have an understanding that he redeemed you from the power of the grave as the kinsman redeemer. Now you got hope. Because you know your Redeemer live and going to stand on the earth. Let me see what word for redeem. If Gaal is used there, it's going to hit hard. And it is. And it is. He said, we finally seeing the microscopic organism thousands of years later, smaller than dust. It's a very light thing. Indeed. Now notice that when it mentioned Redeemer and Job 19, it's Gaal, the kinsman Redeemer. The same kinsman Redeemer who ransomed you from the power of the grave. That second Adam. Praise be to you. You see how that works? You see how that works? Yeah, we know what time it is, and that's your game. Read in Romans 6:1. We got to get off here. I'm going to put another 12 minutes on it.
They say, what shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound?
God forbid.
How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein?
That you're dead to what?
Sin. Live any longer therein.
Live any longer therein. And that's your game. Because, see, you dying to sin for live unto Hamashiach is your gain. Because what we just seen in Job 14, what you just seen in Job 19, what we just talked about last week, and Hosea 13, what we just seen in John 5, what we talk ended with John 11. He that liveth and believeth in me shall never taste death. Believe you this, because that your gain in dying is not necessarily your physical death. It was you dying before you physically died. As I've told some of y'all before, and y'all just ain't heard me say it in a while, you can't kill somebody who's already dead. So if I'm already dead to sin, dead to the world, dead to the lust of the flesh, dead to the lust of the eye, dead to the pride of life, how can you kill me? Remember what the Lord told them men, them scribes and Pharisees in Matthew. Elohim is not the Elohim of the dead, but of the living. For it is written, I am the Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of Isaac, the Elohim of Jacob. So we would have to sit back and look at that. If that word was in her inward man, then she's not dead, because he's not the God of the dead, because the dead are those who have not his word, which means they have not his spirit dwelling in them. You know what I'm talking about? So how would they, how could that just doesn't make any sense. But when his word is in your inward man, because faith come by hearing and hearing come by the word, then guess what? You never taste death. So therefore, though you are dead, you are alive. And that's how dying is your gain or your advantage, because there's an advantage to taking up your stake daily and following him. And that advantage is everlasting life through the resurrection of Yahushua HaMashiach. That's how that works. You understand what I'm saying? Because like I said, man, now I'm not going to sit here and lie to you on a natural level. Nigga, that junk's not easy, man. You understand? Like this the woman who brought me forth onto the other side of the matrix. You understand what I'm telling you? Boy, I had to sit there and look at her lifeless. Boy, I had to watch my niece take off. She couldn't deal with that. I had to watch the pain in my sister's face, my cousin's face, her daughter's face. You know what I'm saying? Some of them children's face. That's not an easy thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Before you even go to talking about me personally, that's not no easy thing. And he didn't tell you it was going to be easy either. You know what I'm talking about? Because again, that's why we read that last week before we even went out here today, or yesterday, I should say. Yeah, so you seen the Lord wept, and he knew what he was finna do with Lazarus, because you were allowed to be a human being. Too many men getting his word. We didn't talk about it before when I talked to you about you. You see, the Lord went and got his people with it. We didn't. So this ain't no new thing for you. You are allowed to be a human being. Yeah, you could give that stuff to you, but if you're just gonna walk around tough, like, man, ain't nothing wrong, that and the third, but you're gonna destroy yourself.
That's why I gave you a grieving period.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that before, man. You get 30 days, man. You having unrealistic expectations of things that you just are not created to be able to maintain and be a healthy, functional individual. You not. It's not. It just doesn't work that way. Now, after them 30 days, if the grieving is still very difficult for you, that's when you need to go get some counseling. You know what I'm saying? I've been telling you that for years either. Man, look here, man. You can't never sit back and look at, man, that man saying with many counselors make war. Man, if you need to talk to somebody, you need to go talk to somebody. Because not everything you're going to be able to sort out on your own. You know what I'm talking about? Because you're going to seek Yahuwah in prayer. He's going to give you comfort. And then 9 times out of 10, he's going to direct you to somebody who you can talk to. You know what I'm talking about? Because he can minister to your spirit to comfort you in a way that man can't. But there's still things that you may need to go sort out with somebody who can give you a recommended course of action. Just a reality of life, man. I'm telling you, man, that's why niggas be getting drunk and getting high and be killing themselves, because you're carrying stuff that you don't need to be carrying because you ain't really know how to process it. You know what I'm saying? And what do I mean by that? That means if a situation and circumstance still can have a deleterious, negative impact on your thoughts, deeds, actions, and emotions at any given time, meaning whenever it's brought up, the thought pop into your mind or whatever the case may be, you need to go get counseling. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? And it don't make you any less of anything. It just means, okay, I haven't fully rationalized, because like I said, man, if you still get triggered and stuff still bother you, that means you not healed from that. That's not a completed task in your brain. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? It's not. Because if it was, it wouldn't affect I'm talking about something, it can affect your mood. It can affect your thoughts. It can affect your emotions. That means it still has power over you. You need to go talk to somebody. You need to go deal with that. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I told you, hey, because I was talking to them dog about that, man. Like, shoot, yesterday. And he had a way more difficult situation because his people was murdered. You know what I'm talking about? But he was like, yeah, he found his mama in their room, passed away. He was like, man, I couldn't go in that room for months. He said daddy wouldn't sleep in there. I already know what you're talking about. I'm like, man, I don't even want to go in my mama's room. And it ain't for no aspect because you're not in there. You know what I'm talking about? And all that's going to do, I don't want to go in there. Now, if you go to talking about 7-8 months and that's a problem, then yeah, okay, you're going to need to go talk to somebody, because 8 months down the road, that shouldn't be no problem. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just the aspect of, it's the aspect of the finality of the reality that you already know is the reality. Because somebody told me, I think you in shock. I'm like, nigga, I ain't in shock. Nigga, I seen it. You know what I'm talking about? But it's the more so of when certain things happen, it's just that the reality of it is stronger. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, for some people today, the reality, it's really real. She's really like we all standing here and this nigga not gonna say nothing. You know what I'm talking about? Of course, you sit back and look at me. You know how many times I done went in there and be like, Ma, you just, she jumping, what was going on? And I could yell at her, but she not finna jump up and open her eyes. That's not finna happen. You know what I'm saying? And then you got to watch it being lowered in the ground. That's like this here, like it's really over. But like I said, we have something because you know this. And this is why I tell you, don't get caught up on no feast day worrying about hanging out. That's a part of it. That's going to be done anyway. Worrying about putting food in your gullet. That's going to happen anyway. We here for Yahuwah. That means we here for the word of the living Elohim. So when something like what you seen today, though you may be sad for a moment, you know that inward man is filled with everlasting life. We just wait until the heavens be no more, till our change comes. Because he told you, you'll be changed in the twinkling of an eye. That ain't what he said, isn't it? So you waiting for this mortality to put on immortality, because death's been swallowed up in victory. And this is our Elohim. We have waited for him. That's what the book say. Now you believe it, man, or you don't. Now, see, some old goofy niggas would be like, that's that preaching stuff. Man, go to hell. Literally. Because that's why people ain't holding on to nothing, man. That's why they can't get to where they want to be. Because you goofy niggas always trying to discourage somebody and overthrow their faith. And I hate all you niggas. You know what I'm saying? I hope you eat an undercooked glizzy that give you salmonella and you get a perpetual state of diarrhea and mess up all your draws. And you don't get paid for another week and you can't buy no new boxes and ain't nobody going to lend you no money. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up. Come on, man. Where you at with?
Good in Romans 6.
Yeah, we good with that. That was my point. You can read verse 21 again. I still ended up too close to 12 o'clock. Come on, listen.
Philippians 1.
Yeah.
For me to live is Mashiach, and to die is gain.
Mm-hmm.
But if I live in the flesh, this is the fruit of my labor. Yet what I shall choose, I know not. For I am in a strait between two, having desires to depart and to be with Mashiach.
See, that's why he said it would gain, because he gonna get something different. That man said, I'm ready to slide and go be with the Lord.
Which is far better.
He said, that's better for me.
Nevertheless, to abide in the flesh, more needful for you. And having this confidence, I know that I shall abide and continue with you all for
now,
your
see,
pardon.
what Paul was talking about is if it was his desire, he would die and go be with the Lord, but he wasn't going to be selfish because he knew he needed to be alive to administer the gospel to the people. Most of these dudes out here don't even have that type of thought process. I'm talking about the type of thought process where they'll be like, boy, it would be better for me to go die and be with the Lord. Because these niggas don't want to die. You know what I'm talking about? These niggas, man. Hallelujah for Yahusha. Let me stop talking about people cheering. You know what I'm talking about? I appreciate everybody who done prayed, sent kind words, who came to my mama's funeral, man. I thank you for all y'all. I appreciate it. You know what I'm talking about? And just know this here, man. And I'm talking about to the people who done actually had interactions with her. Man, well, you know, if my mama love you, boy, I promise to you she did. That there you don't got to be concerned with. You ain't got to think about if I should have said this or did that. You know what I'm saying? You already know what time it was. You know what I'm saying? But like I told y'all last week, and I told y'all today, you know what I'm saying? You heard and I know this here because my mama did it with me, and I lived with her. Matter of fact, one of the last time I was with her, that's what she was talking about. The conversation she had with Leah and more specifically Muffin Man. So my mom, what you doing in that hospital? Well, she loved them children, and that's what she discussed on a regular basis. So while you get caught up with stuff, and I know sometimes, man, them children get on your nerve, but I know with certain stuff, man, especially considering the certain ages someone be, just go ahead and enjoy that junk, because one day they're going to be grown. You know what I'm talking about? And you're gonna sit back and be like, man, I remember when they was 2, 3. I wish. So just go ahead and enjoy that stuff in the moment and love them like that in the moment. Because time don't stop and wait for nobody. You know what I'm saying? Shoot. JTA buses don't wait for niggas. You know what I'm talking about? The rent man don't wait. And time don't wait neither. You know what I'm talking about? So, like I said, man, anything, man, you know, do just like what the word say, man. Love each other, man. It ain't that hard. Shalom, Mick. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that hard, man. Just be easy out here, baby. I appreciate y'all, man. I love y'all. Bless y'all at the house of Elohim in the name of Yahusha, man. And Yahuwah willing, man, we'll be back at it tomorrow afternoon. Make it do what it do. And until that time, because I ain't finna draw y'all out. It's midnight. I'm going to bed because yeah, man, my brother called me. My brother Fred called me at 6:30 to clarify. So I've been up since 6:30. So I'm gonna holler at y'all. You know what I'm saying? Yahuwah willing till tomorrow.